Round 8 in the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League pits the powerhouse teams of 2022 against one another at McPherson Park in picturesque Toolanvale. Melton has taken all before it over its opening 7 games and remains the only undefeated side in the competition. Not just unconquered, the Bloods have dominated its rivals, chalking up an enviable percentage of 214, almost double that of its nearest rival, today's opponent, East Point. Melton boasts match winners on every line and has every reason to believe it may have the ingredients this season to claim its first silverware since 2005. Today's rival will be one of the clubs to have some say in that. Of course, I speak of the reigning premier of the past 2 completed seasons, East Point. The Roos have plenty of quality players of their own, creating outstanding matchups on every line. Hello and welcome to the Ballarat Toyota Match of the Day, as the top 2 sides of the competition go head-to-head. My name's Wes Cusworth and I'm joined in commentary by Brett Henderson to provide detailed insight into the machinations of this ladder-leading contest. Welcome, Brett. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Wes. And we should have a ripping contest today. 1v2. East Point certainly got some quality in their side. I think a lot's going to depend around young Johnson hitting the scoreboard for them, but really looking forward to how this plays out throughout the course of the day.
And of course, your role through the TAC Cup and also the VFL development will give us plenty of intel with regard to many of the players running around today. The siren sounds to begin our contest as we see McIntyre up against Brown, and it's McIntyre that wins the ball to ground. Melton going to the right of screen and East Point to the left. There's Manito, dispossessed, does well to burrow back in, gets the ball out to the advantage of a teammate. That was Tom Button, and now Melton go forward to left half forward flank. And running out of tarmac, the boundary umpire comes into play for the first time today. We'll have a throw in between centre wing and half forward. Melton just into attack. Young Brown up against McIntyre. McIntyre using his body nicely. Melton into attack now. Goal square opportunity, and there we have Ryan Carter taking a mark to get our game going. He'll have a shot on goal from directly in front. He's been a key weapon up forward, Brett. He's a very dangerous player.
Yeah, just positioned himself beautifully then, Wes. It was just a really quick entry in, and the Melton forwards able to isolate their defenders.
First minute of our game, Ryan Carter directly in front. Shot on goal, makes the goal umpire work, but he produces the maximum result, and Melton's away to a brisk beginning just 70 seconds into our contest, and there's the first goal for Ryan Carter.
Yeah, great start for Melton. Really impressed. I know, as you said, only been playing 70 seconds, but ball's been whizzing around, been a really fast pace start to the game. So hopefully we're in for a great game.
We certainly saw the same sort of action from East Point last week in their defeat of Bacchus Marsh. So we expect that this will be something that will characterise the performances of both sides today. That's Brown winning the tap down on this occasion, and a high tackle, and it's going to go the way of Melton. I'll move it forward via Jack Walker. Kick inside 50, the hard up lead. Mark spilt, ball goes to ground. East Point coming towards the commentary side of the ground, and the mark is taken by Geordie Slater. Slater with a short worm burner, and it's cut off by the Bloods. So Slater's intentions were good, but unfortunately to little avail as Melton go forward from the boot of Riley Walker, and the ball fisted over the boundary line on 50, right half forward flank. Melton into attack. 2 minutes gone in our Ballarat Toyota Match of the Day.
Melton forwards looking dangerous, Wes. They've got a lot of isolation, and the Melton midfielders are looking to use them at every opportunity.
McIntyre, good use of the body once again, rips it out of the ruck, handball, although doesn't quite hit the target. Opportunity for Matt Johnston. Doesn't dispose adequately, and the free kick's going to go the way of Melton. They're going to have a second shot on goal. And the recipient of the free kick is Lockie Hickey.
Yeah, Lockie spent a bit of time at Williamstown, Wes, back a few years ago. He's a highly skilled player, been a dominant player in the Ballarat League, and this will give Melton a great start if he can kick this.
Bit of a blustery breeze. He steps over the 50-metre marker, left footer, shot on goal. Has got a bit of left about it. Passes through for a behind. And Melton 1-1-7, leading East Point, yet to score. It's a rather unusual breeze here today, Brett. It's quite swirly. I feel like we're in a little bit of a wind tunnel. Jacob Brown runs on and kicks long towards Tom Brown. Fisted away on that occasion by Bailey Mawson, who at different times a fortnight ago against North Ballarat, we saw him do some ruck work to relieve McIntyre. Talented young player. Sandy Head, will see plenty of him today, one would imagine. Brown and McIntyre. Fisted away by Brown on this occasion. Taken at ground level by Jack Walker. Dispossessed. East Point do well. Opportunity for Nesta, although cut off and taken by Jack Walker. He is not able to dispose adequately, and the ball eventually worked over the boundary line between centre wing and half forward.
Just looking at conditions, Wes, I'd say Melton's probably got the scoring end at the moment, but you know, it's about them opening up the mid part of the ground, give scoring opportunities.
Indeed. It's a little bit congested at the moment as we see a pack form around the football, and eventually it's East Point getting it out, but only so far as Lockie Hickey. He's swinging onto the left and he's kicked towards goal. It's bouncing, and just 20 metres around from the scoring zone we'll have a throw in with Melton 1-1-7 leading East Point, yet to score 4.5 minutes into our Ballarat Toyota match of the day. Dallas Martin doing the ruck work inside defensive 50 for East Point. The point is clear from defensive 50, but only so far as Mawson. The ball is over the line again as the handball is smothered, and we'll have another throw in between centre wing and left half forward. McIntyre and Brown. East Point, Matt Johnston wearing the long sleeves today, Matty Johnston. As very, very tough in the clinches, very hard to dispose. As East Point wrapped up in the tackle again, and we'll have the umpire intervene. I sense the way the breeze is going, that there's going to be a lot of action on that outer side of the ground today, Brett. Makes it a bit challenging for us.
Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, good pressure from the Melton forward line at the moment.
McIntyre does well. Melton inside 50 once again, sweeping across. Oh, mark spilt there on that occasion by Jacob Brown. Ball at ground level. Brown follows up his work and sees the ball over the boundary line. Bit of push and shove just off the footy there. The boys getting a little bit excited about the fact that they've got another contest between two terrific sides. Both have demonstrated really good form so far this year. Brown front position on this occasion. Goes with the left fist. Little kick forward by Melton. Taken by the Pointers, wrapped up in the tackle. And I sense that the congestion reflects the fact that these two sides are very, well, they're both good quality sides. It's going to be very, very hard to earn possessions today. Kick comes from East Point. Fisted to ground, taken by Brown. Offloads to Nesta. Nesta gets the kick away down that outer wing. Now there's a little bit of space in which to move, but that's a good shuffle across to Phillips. Phillips goes by foot. Mark spilt. Possession's hard to earn. Good tackle on that occasion by Jacob Hickey. And the umpire intervenes once again.
Bit of a scrambly start, Wes, but, you know, you expect that, you know, high stakes 1v2.
That's exactly right. There's so much on this game. McIntyre, as much as Melton will retain top spot even if they lose today, but the reality is, as we call play on to advantage and mark at defensive wing by Melton, it would certainly send a signal to Melton if East Point were to get up today.
Absolutely.
So Melton using the central corridor on this occasion. Hickey moves the ball forward in the Carter direction. Awkward bouncing football. Difficult one to gather there on that occasion. At ground level, looking for the refuge of the boundary is Mitch Walsh, and the umpire's happy that that was a genuine attempt.
Yeah, I like the build-up from Melton then. It was a little bit slower, a bit calmer. They just went a bit wide in the last disposal. I think that's the way East Point probably need to play. They need to kick the ball around a little bit, just mark it, slow it down.
It's been a bit frantic so far, hasn't it? Oh, here's Carter, takes it from the ruck. He's kicked forward and it's touched by Mitch Walsh through for just one behind. And Melton move along to 1-2-8, leading by that 8-point margin over East Point in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day.
Yeah, East Point, sorry, Wes, definitely kicking against a bit of a breeze here, but they just need to use the ball a bit better than that.
Loving's kick in, although Melton go forward again, kick towards the top of the goal square. A number of players fly, a number of East Point players fly and collide and then we'll have a pack form. So the Roos getting numbers back there on that occasion, but there was a little lack of communication, I suspect. Number of flyers.
Whereas it looks like they're throwing a half forward up into the contest, East Point, just to thicken it up a bit, make it a bit harder for Melton to win these stoppages.
Rhoda Moronis looked to have an opportunity to clear there on that occasion, but the free kick's been pulled out and it's going the way of the Roos. Brown of the Jacob variety goes long, nice penetrative kick. Big leap on that occasion from Joel Van Meel. Couldn't haul it in. Melton take possession. Wrapped up in the tackle by Van Meel and deemed to be over the shoulder. Might be Blake Suter. Comes towards the corridor. The Carter lead over the top there on that occasion. Just had a little bit more carry than he anticipated. Here's Liam Canny. Canny throws it on the boot and he's dispensed with as he disposed, which is a bit wasteful there by Melton because they had taken the mark and could have moved the ball forward. Here's the dangerous Jordan Johnston. Kicked 5 last week, 14 the previous 2 weeks. Nice pass there on that occasion. Spotted up a teammate inside 50 and the mark's taken by Geordie Slater.
Well, I think that's the way they've got to play, Wes. You've just got to build it up slowly, kick mark game. Geordie Johnson, one of the most talented players in the league. He was a really talented NAB League player and that was just a great kick.
Slater, slight angle to contend with, steps over the 50-metre arc, kicking to the northern end here at McPherson Park. It's a nice kick, but it holds up in the wind. That says plenty as McIntyre takes the mark on the very last line. Boy, that wind really did hold the footy up there on that occasion.
Yeah, it probably gives us a bit of an indication about how the game's going to be played, you know, from both ends.
Walker. Quick transition on this occasion by Melton. They'll go inside 50, drifting back. Oh, mark spilt there on that occasion. Opportunity wasted. And that opens the door for the Roos to clear, courtesy of Jacob Brown. And he spots up a teammate on the outer side of the ground, defensive wing. 1-2-8 Melton. Lead the Roos, yet to score. Melton definitely kicking with the aid of the breeze as Mawson cuts it off on centre wing. So Bailey Mawson surveys the landscape ahead, goes with a short option, well-weighted kick. Now an opportunity for Melton to go inside 50 again. Carter the target. Well, both players over the football there on that occasion, and then happy to see the ball over the line is Dallas Martin.
Just Melton's last kick, Wes. All right, they're building it up well. It's just a kick and connection to their forward. Just seem to keep missing that a little bit. I reckon East Point will be pretty happy with this start. 11 minutes in, only to have 1 goal scored against them. Yes,
and of course that goal came in the first minute courtesy of Ryan Carter. Here he is again, an opportunity. He's got the ball at ground level, but so too the Roos form a pack around him and the umpire is forced to intervene. Yeah, pretty tight contest to this point in time, which clearly indicates the quality of the two sides and the fact that they are not only fierce rivals, but also genuine contenders. Opportunity for Hickey. Snap on goal, and it's right across the face. And will be a free kick the way of East Point.
I think East Point really happy with repeat stoppages. Just that last one to let the ball bubble out of the contest gave Melton a chance on goal. But look, they're doing a good job sort of holding back the Melton scoreboard.
Look how far the footy carried into the paddock. We have one of our spectators with chips in hand and football in the other hand, and he's done a bit of a runner into the paddock to the south end of McPherson Park Oval number 1. Fantastic venue.
Nearly needed an Uber to get that one, Wes.
It's almost the door dash with the chips in hand. Jacob Brown. Ball holds up in the breeze once again. Trying to escape was Bryson McDougall. Umpire said you had plenty of time and he didn't dispose adequately. The free kick's going to go the way of Liam Carter. Another dangerous forward for Melton.
Another played a bit of VFL football, Wes. Very good player.
Liam Carter looks to the corridor for Ryan. East Point with numbers back. They're certainly congesting that defensive 50, and the mark's taken by Aidan Nestor, who's been very good so far today. He kicks towards the commentary side of the ground. The big leap came there on that occasion. Melton have the numbers, and now they'll move forward, and the mark taken. Quick hands off to Mawson. Mawson with the worm burner and finds his teammate in Jordan Kite. Well, this is an interesting angle for Jordan Kite, given the swirliness of the breeze here at McPherson Park. Certainly the distance shouldn't be a problem because he'll kick from 45, but he's just a little outside a 45-degree angle. We're right behind it, so we're going to get a good shot. He sets it up to the left goal post, and it goes right across the face. I suspected, like he did too, that it might have come back from left to right, but it didn't, and it means that Melton move on to 139.
Yeah, it just sort of stayed on its path then. I thought it would have come back a little bit, Wes, but, you know, as I said, East Point would be pretty happy with this start, even though they haven't hit the scoreboard themselves.
We tick towards the 14-minute mark of our first term in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day. 9 plays none. The Pointers use the outside of the ground. Mark Spilt. No, umpire says that was enough for Mitch Walsh, the recipient of the mark, and 50 metres. So I'm not sure that Brett McIntyre was entirely happy with that, but that may well be the cause of the fact that the 50 metres has been paid. So that puts East Point into an opportunity to find a target inside 50. There's plenty of numbers back. The mark spilt by Jordan Cotter. Ball at ground level. Quick release handball. Sweeping across the last line, the Bloods, and the kick is going to find Lachlan Watkins. So Watkins plays on, worm-burning kick. Hanley has it at defensive 50.
They're always looking at the corridor. Where's Melton? They're pretty keen to get through the midfield here.
They sure are. Hanley puts it into the path of Tom Button. Button's got a bit of support there from Jack Walker. Gets it over to him by hand eventually. And now they're inside 50. The kick comes towards Carter. Carter will run onto it. Can he gather? He's got a man to evade. He gets his kick away, and he's kicked another one. The second Melton goal on the board. Ryan Carter boots his second. He had to work hard for it there, Brett.
Yeah, it probably wasn't that pretty in the end, but he did a great job to get it through. But it started from that kick off half-back, Wes, just looking inside, 45-degree angle. Found someone in the midfield. They were able to run past, get the handball received, get the overlap, and get a one-on-one in the goal square.
And what we're finding is also both teams are working really hard to get numbers back to congest the respective 50s. Once they create a little bit of space, the rebound, attacking on the counter-punch, I suppose, is really what creates those goal-scoring opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely.
16 minutes have elapsed in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day. Melton 2-3-15, East Point yet to get off the mark. And Kotorenko will do the ruck work up against McIntyre. One down by Kotorenko, the Roos veteran. And we'll have another pack and another ball up right in the middle of McPherson Park, oval number 1 in Toolan Vale, north of Melton Central. No decisive winner on this occasion, although it spills the way of the Roos. Oh, doubling back into trouble there on that occasion was Murphy. Dispossessed. Nice gather by the Bloods. The kick towards goal is smothered. That's Jack Walker. Gets another opportunity. Offloads to a teammate. The shot on goal from Lachlan Heggie's a cracker. And there's another goal for Melton. And they've burst away to a 21-point advantage. 17 minutes into the first term in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day. 3-3-21. East Point yet to score.
I suppose it starts getting a little bit dangerous now, Wes. We've been talking about how well they've done for the first 12 minutes with a couple of goals within a couple of minutes. Starting to hurt East Point on the scoreboard. East Point still throwing high half forward up into the contest, but Melton still winning those stoppages.
Just need to stem the bleeding a little bit now, even if they're going to concede the fact that they may not score a great deal themselves with this breeze here at McPherson Park. They just need to reduce the damage. Kotorenko and McIntyre. One by Kotorenko. Cleverly gathered by East Point, and now they've got an opportunity to go forward, courtesy of Jordan Taylor. Taylor has the lead coming at him. Ball knocked away. Good work by the Melton defence. Oh, the quick kick comes out to the advantage of Lachlan Hickey, the kicker of that last goal. Can he gather? He eventually does. Gets the ball to boot. I'm not sure if he heard that teammate running shotgun. That was Liam Carter. Ball to ground again. Bloods try to weave through traffic. concede a little bit of ground with the handball. Rodham Onus sends his side forward. Bit of space back there, but have a look at the Bloods and the way they've been able to get numbers back, and they've been able to create some space. And it comes out now to Brenton Payne. So Payne's got plenty of space in which to move and finds the mobile McIntyre. It's got away from Kotorenko on this occasion. Oh, he beats the tackle. McIntyre with a turn of speed. Kicks towards the lead of Carter and the ball over the boundary line. The big fella was getting excited. He thought he was an outside runner.
Well, I think the crowd gave him a little bit of positive feedback there, Wes, and he thought, well, I'll take it on here. He's a bit of a cult hero. I have noticed that East Point have actually dropped a spare back at centre bounce. So, yeah, just trying to stem, the flow a bit at the moment. Which
is also creating an opportunity for Melton to clear when East Point go forward.
Easily, yep.
Which is problematic at the moment. Ball thrown in. McIntyre front position over Brown. Taken by Rodham Onus. Sending them back inside is Braden Kite. Cleverly headed to a very dangerous spot in the corridor. But here's East Point to clear. They'll come to the commentary side of the ground. That's JJ. Johnston couldn't gather. Opportunity for Melton. Rodham Onus. Now McDougall. Teaming well. McDougall gets it back, takes a bounce. He's got nothing ahead of him. He's got one out wide. That's Jake Toolman. He can't gather cleanly. He eventually does. Wrapped up in the tackle by Jordan Cotter. And the umpire will call for a ball up. Hard up against the boundary line between centre wing and half forward.
Just going to hurt East Point when they are going forward, being a forward down, and that's what happened then. They had no one back to kick to.
McDougall had no options. He had nothing. Nothing ahead of him. Called to play on. Taken away by Kite. Kicks long to a 2-on-1 situation, and the one does very well. Liam Carter sees the lead coming from Ryan Carter, but East Point, and that is that number back. And Chris Carson marks on this occasion, 40 from defensive goal.
That's what they need to do, Wes, just sort of slow it down, a bit of a kick mark game. Just take a bit of time off clock, try and get to quarter time without too much damage.
Well, Carson will potentially get it back, although they may turn it over here. Here's Kite fighting hard at ground level, gets it off to his brother. Eventually sold into all sorts of trouble, and the umpire says you had prior opportunity. You did not dispose, and East Point will bring it away. Good mark taken by Mitch Walsh. Stood up strongly there.
That's a great mark, Wes.
Walsh. Left half back. Bit of an up and under kick. Sets it up for Johnson! Great mark. Wants to move it on quickly. Not such a great kick. Doesn't maybe reach the lofty heights of the mark, although that's clever work by Brown. Goes off the ground there on that occasion. And the ball over the boundary line, left forward pocket. And East Point deep in attack, still searching for their first score.
Yeah, boundary throw in, Wes. They've got a chance now to build some pressure on the Melton defence and just get at least repeat stoppage after stoppage, or if not, hit the scoreboard. It'd be nice for them to sneak a goal against this Breeze.
21 minutes gone in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day, 3-3-21. East Point still searching for their first score. McIntyre, second in line there on that occasion, palms it down to the advantage of Jack Walker. They're away, Melton. Plenty of room to move here at McPherson Oval. Cleverly, and the Bloods have it between centre wing and half forward. Kick, fisted away there on that occasion by Aiden Nestor. Did very, very well. Was probably looking for the refuge of the boundary line. Didn't quite find it. The pack forms over the footy. Jack Jeffries in there. Luke Heaney.
And just then was the advantage of East Point having a spare back, because the Melton player couldn't go long. He had to sort of go in short, and the East Point defenders were able to put pressure on that.
Very interesting to watch the machinations of this game and the way in which the respective coaches are managing that, finding that blend between attack and defence.
I think East Point just tipped their way a little bit with that move, even though the scoreboard's not indicating it.
Melton with an opportunity. Jacob Hickey was fighting hard. Johnston can't gather. Opportunity for the Bloods. Kick towards goal. Might have carried the journey. It's been touched through for a minor score. Melton 3-4-22. Lead East Point yet to score. 22 minutes gone in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day.
And that was a spare back then, Wes. Putting a hand on ball before it went through. So another little win.
Brown with the kick-in duties. Long, penetrative kick. Big leap on that occasion by East Point. Not taken. Johnston works the handball out to McDougall. Can't gather. Taken by Melton. Opportunity for the Bloods to go forward once again. Worm-burning kick. Oh, Carter was calling for it a little deeper than that, and happy to see it over the line was Dallas Martin. The ball to be thrown in the left forward pocket for the Bloods. They lead it by 22 points.
Yeah, just going in, you know, Melton players have to readjust their eyes because even though they may want to go long, there's a 2v1 down there. It makes it very difficult to hit the moving forward.
Nice take by the Bloods. Little kick forward. Scrubby opportunity. Top of the goal square stuff for Melton. Can they gather a clean possession? East Point aware acutely of the necessity not to give away a free kick right there. You're almost fearful of taking possession there at that particular point, just in case you drag it in and get pinged. Ball thrown up. Rodimer Onus. He's wrapped up in the... Oh, he is pinged. Just as I described. Tough call by the umpire because Rodimer Onus was the guy that was trying to make the play, but nonetheless he was deemed to have taken possession and have had an opportunity.
Was just really interesting. The spare back then for East Point stood at the goal line with the other East Point defender. He should have been up at the stoppage, give them an out number there. So this is what's happened because of that, you know. Even numbers around the stoppage, they give away a clumsy free kick.
Carter for number 3. Comes in to the southern end. His kick on goal is right across the face and misses by a significant margin. 3-5-23. That's Melton leading East Point. Still yet to score. 24 minutes gone in this Ballarat Toyota match of the day. So I reckon that Mikaja will be pretty happy with the fact that he wasn't severely punished there on that occasion because he probably felt harshly done by. Well, but it's back inside again. Opportunity for Carter. Can't hold the mark there, but good to see the big fella doing some work at ground level. Tries to get the handball out to the advantage of Lachlan Walker. The pack forms and the umpire says we'll have a ball up.
So I like that setup. They had a goalkeeper then, East Point, but now we don't want 2 guys on the 140. You want one of those backmen to go up into that contest, Wes.
It's Brett Henderson providing special comments. Opportunity for East Point to clear, take possession, and then they're taken in the tackle, and we'll have another ball up.
And now I think that's actually happening. No, they're throwing another back deep. So
taken by Melton. Quick snap on goal. Is through for another behind. So just a touch wasteful. Rushed opportunity. But once again, potentially reflective of the great defensive work by East Point. 3-6-24, that's Melton leading East Point yet to score. And it looks like we might be back into the paddock chasing the Sharon to the southern end of McPherson Park Oval number 1.
I don't want to bang on about it, Wes, and I'm not always right, but I just reckon if they can fix that up, get that spare at the stoppage, then Melton don't get these shots on goal. And they've been lucky to have a couple of let-offs, and they're probably going to go to quarter time in a pretty good position, but just nip it in the bud.
It's one of those things, it's a bit like a cricket match where you really don't know what the wicket's like until you see both sides bat. Well, it's a bit like we won't really know. Oh, big leap there on that occasion by East Point. It seemed to be in the back. We won't really know the impact of this wind until half-time.
That's right.
So Melton have it between centre wing and half forward, leading by 24 points. Playing on, heading towards the corridor. And the mark taken. Lachlan Walker just edging Rodimer Onus off the football there on that occasion. I reckon Luke Heaney positioned himself and thought the ball was coming to him, but it seemed to curl away there at the last minute. It was almost like an outswinger, Jimmy Anderson outswinger. And so Lachlan Walker will have a shot on goal directly in front and really needs to capitalise here and make East Point pay. He comes in. He'll kick from 40. The shot on goal, it's a nice kick off the boot. His teammates go to him. Lachlan Walker's got his first goal of the game. And it's the 4th for Melton, 4-6-30, leading East Point yet to score. 27.5 minutes into our Ballarat Toyota match of the day, first term.
Yeah, really interesting, Wes, now. I don't think they'd want to suffer any more damage on the scoreboard, East Point. Get to quarter time, 30 points down, or perhaps score themselves. But I think if it gets to 5-6 goals, it's going to be pretty hard to come back from that.
Of course, last night we saw Geelong burst away to that significant lead, and then the Bulldogs able to drag themselves back into the contest. Let's see what East Point can do. They're wearing the Bulldogs' colours. There's Rotama Onus. Oh, handball was well intended. Oh, and eventually it does work because Drew Murphy's able to get the kick away. Just kicks into space, but that's a pretty good result for East Point on this occasion. And the umpire deems that it's to be thrown in between centre wing and half forward, with Melton leading by 30 points. Kodorenko, second position to McIntyre on this occasion. Now the ball at ground level. The Pointers trying to burst through the pack, and the umpire says we'll have another ball up. Nice little crowd gathering down here at McPherson Park. Fully appreciative of the significance of this contest. The reigning premier of the past two completed seasons up against the pace setter of this season. And it's the pace setter that goes inside 50 once again. A 2-on-1 situation. Ball fisted away from Liam Carter there on that occasion. And once again, the contested footy means we'll have a ball up.
That was well done by the spare back there. And speaking of raining, Wes, we have some rain just behind us, so it could even get wet a little bit later on.
Yes, the Tillinvale Hills. Kick forward. And East Point have it at right half back. That's Jack Jeffrey. Kicks towards a teammate, and the mark's taken by Joe Dodd. Their side, 30 points in arrears. Playing on now, East Point. Use the outer side of the ground. Good mark taken. And the Roos able to progress. They have it just the offensive side of centre wing as we tick towards the 30-minute mark of our first term. Can they pull one back? The big leap comes on that occasion from Geordie Slater. Ball goes to ground. Siren sounds. First term is over. At the 30-minute mark of our Ballarat Toyota match of the day, it's Melton 4-6-30. Goal kickers Ryan Carter has kicked 2. Hickey and Walker 1 apiece. The goals coming at the 1, 15, 17 and 28-minute mark of our first term. 4-6-30. And East Point still yet to get off the mark. This is Wes Cusworth, Brett Henderson, Caleb Ludlow bringing you the fantastic vision in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day for the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League. Just a quick summation, Brett, before we take a short break.
Oh, look, even though East Point haven't scored, I don't think, they've been damaged too much, Wes. I think they've got every opportunity now, if this weather holds off, to show us what they can do with the breeze behind them. They're going to have to take the game on, look to use the ball through the midfield. I thought Melton did that really well, but East Point really tried to stemmy the impact of Melton by putting a spare back. So be interested to see the tactics of Melton this quarter against the wind.
Hope you're enjoying the in-depth understanding of the game provided by Brett Henderson. His knowledge of the nuances of coaching is certainly something that is of great value to our commentary on our live stream in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day. And we look forward to what remains in the 3 quarters to come in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day. We'll be back after a short break.
As proud sponsors of the Ballarat Football Netball League, we love supporting local.
And love community sport, and we encourage everyone to get out there, support your local football and netball league, and of course, support local business.
Welcome back to our Ballarat Toyota match of the day as we get set for second quarter action. Brett Henderson actually ventured out to the respective huddles. What did you learn from Aaron Timms of Melton and also his rival in East Point's Jake Bridges?
A lot of questions asked by Bridges at the East Point huddle, and the players sort of responded probably the way he wanted to have the response. So they've put a bit of thought into the game. Look, they don't want to be kicking long with the breeze going to the forward line. They want to lower their eyes. -7 in clearances and -5 in contested possessions, whereas Melton pretty keen to stick to their game plan, regardless of conditions.
Getting the job done at the moment, Melton. Back in the middle, and free kick's been pulled out, and it's going to go the way of East Point. So they have an opportunity to go forward. They'll come out wide, and spotting up Jacob Brown, who's a long way from where he's been playing to this point in time. On the last line. He'll send it along with an awkward sort of kick there. Ball at ground level, taken by Jackson Merritt. The shot on goal. It bounces, bounces, bounces. It bounces truly. Jackson Merritt, what a goal for the Roos. And what a start to this second quarter.
And you know what? Even though that kick was ugly going into the forward 50, Wes, it was absolutely ideal for the conditions. Chaos ball went in, wasn't be able to sort of picked off by the Melton defenders. Caused some havoc, and they got a shot on goal. And all of a sudden, first minute of the second quarter, they're on the scoreboard.
I love the fact that you're an optimist, Brett Henderson. Here am I trying to pick flaws in the technique and the kicking and all that sort of thing, and you found the silver lining to it. You've done very nicely again. Well, that adds a little bit of interest. 4-6-30, plays one straight 6. Opportunity for the Pointers to go forward once again. Trying to burst through is Jack Jeffrey. The no-look handball over the top there on that occasion by the Roos. The ball spills out to the advantage of Johnston. Can't get a kick away. Taken in the tackle. Diving on it, there was Brenton Payne, and the umpire says we'll have a ball up almost 50 metres out from the East Point goal. They trail by 24 points.
Maybe just a bit too much handball there, Wes. Just get it in by foot. Put them under pressure.
McIntyre up against Brown. Fisted forward. Taken by the Roos. Here's an opportunity for Geordie Slater. The shot of goal hammers into the woodwork. Well, this is a more optimistic start by the Roos. Looking a little more like it, aren't they?
Yeah, just starting to move the ball quickly, Wes, and putting, Melton defenders under a fair bit of pressure, which obviously they weren't in the first quarter. So they're going to have to readjust.
4-6-30 plays 1-1-7. This is Jordan Cotter. Bit of an up and under kick. Trying to fist away was Mitch Walsh. The ball over the boundary line to be thrown in. That was another kick that held up quite significantly. It's like a northerly blowing here at McPherson Park.
Yeah, and the ground, Wes, when I was out at the huddles, it was very blowy. It was sort of just gusting straight up the middle of the ground. Very
interesting, the wind direction. It's the sort of thing that we might typically expect to see in summer. But Brown, front position, goes the fist with the left. Jeffrey was running onto it, so too Joe Dodd. And the ball over the boundary line, 50 metres around from the East Point scoring zone. Looking forward to the scoreboard resetting its clock, because it's currently the 40-minute mark of the first quarter, according to the clock at the moment. Ball fisted down to the front of the pack. Crummers do well. East Point with a quick kick. Hurried, and it's cut off on this occasion by Brenton Payne. So Payne sums up his options. Does a lot of pointing there on that occasion. Goes out wide, once again using that outer side of the ground again. Fisted away by East Point. Taken by Hanley. Off to a teammate. Now the quick kick forward. Mark spilt there on that occasion by Lachlan Hickey. And the pack forms, and we'll have the umpire pull a free kick out, interestingly enough. And it goes the way of Melton. Penalised was Jordan Taylor. Very short kick, not travelling the necessary distance there on that occasion. So it was a quick handball coming from Liam Carter. Now an opportunity for Jack Walker. Handball over the top to Lockie Watkins. Now Melton into attack. Running onto it was Carter. Oh, nice gather. Good work on this occasion by Melton. They'll kick another one. Kyle Borg. His first goal of the game. Good hard running into space there on that occasion by Melton, and they've stretched the margin back out to 29 points in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day.
Just a nice setup forward, Wes. They've just got a one-on-one down there, be able to kick the ball into it. If the forward doesn't win it, hits a deck, and the smaller players can just run onto it into an open space forward line. So really good positioning from the Melton forwards in that occasion.
5-6-36 plays 1-1-7. We have gone some 4.5 minutes into our second quarter of our Ballarat Toyota match of the day. Umpire's throw, even the wind even took that one there on that occasion. Jacob Hickey throws the ball on the boot, and it goes straight towards centre wing. Running onto it is Kyle Borg, the kicker of that last goal. Tries to evade a tackle. That's a really good effort by East Point. They win themselves a free kick on centre wing. Well done, Aidan Nestor. Wants to move it on quickly. Runs on, takes a bounce. Quickly inside 50 and finds a target. So the Pointers with an opportunity to go forward once again. Running around. Quick shot on goal. Right across the face. Almost the mark by Jackson Merritt, but the ball through for just a minor score. 1-2-8. Plays 5-6-36. It's a 28-point spread between the two sides. 5.5 minutes in, Brett.
Yeah, and they've used that stand rule really well the last couple of kicks. East Point boys been able to get a bit more yardage.
Jordan Cotter, handball. Manito does well, gets his kick away. Unceremoniously dumped as he got his kick away. It was all quite legit. Watkins. Now they're away. Good foot speed there on that occasion by Melton, but East Point did also did very well in terms of the rundown tackle, although the umpires pulled a free kick out, and it's going to be downfield. Jack Walker. Jordan Kite. 60 from goal. Short kick. Carter on full stretch. Couldn't haul it in. Numbers back. Jacob Brown for East Point. Oh, mark spilt. Dangerous territory in which to drop a mark. He's going to do well, though, Joe Dodd. On the left. Kick towards a full stretch, Matt Johnston. Johnston at left half back. Short kick into the corridor.
That's a kick, Wes. That's what you want to see.
Toolman goes one way, then the other. Good mark taken by the Roos. Called to play on now. Johnston, another great mark. He's got great hands. Oh, he wants to play on. He snaps on goal. Johnston, can he finish his work? He doesn't. He misses to the far side. Geez, an exciting player, Brett Henderson.
Yeah, I just think if you isolate him deep forward, Wes, this quarter, and get everyone else out of the forward 50 if you can, he's going to cause some havoc for Melton.
5-6-36 plays 1-3-9. He's taken 2 screamers today. They'll be contenders for the mark of the day. Maybe even feature on presentation night, the Hendo Medal night, as contenders for the mark of the season. Big kick inside 50. Awkward bouncing football. Gathered by the Bloods. From 30 from defensive goal. Mark taken by Jacob Hickey. Hickey moves it on by foot. Goes laterally. This is Lachlan Hickey. Brett Henderson just got some admirers in the crowd there.
Yes.
Signing some autographs, Brett, as we do a bit of commentary.
Ex-Fremantle player Brett Bewley, who plays for Darley at the moment.
Ah, there you go.
Yes, ex-Williamstown champion.
Here's Rodimer Onus. And wrapped up in the tackle. Umpire will call for a ball up. Yeah, it's fantastic when you return to grassroots football and you catch up with a lot of people that have been a part of your football journey. Just like the opportunity for us to reunite, Brett.
It's fantastic, Wes, and that's what footy's about. And just looking here, it looks as though we've got 6 forwards versus 6 backs for East Point, so I'd be happy with that.
Free kick. It's going to go the way of the Bloods. So they have an opportunity to build on their 27-point advantage. Kick inside 50 now. Numbers back. Mitch Walsh does well on full stretch. He wants the commentary side of the ground, although he's going to kick only so far as Tom Button, who marks 60 from goal. Feigns the handball, then with a short option. Oh, cut off nicely by the Roos. Doing very well there on that occasion. Once again, they'll use the commentary side of the ground. One-on-one, Johnson up against Phillips. Ball fisted away to the back of the pack. Opportunity for McDougall. Does very well. Sizes up a man in space. That's a really clever kick. Running onto it, opportunity for Drew Murphy. Can he gather? He's got Manito hard up against him. And a number of Melton players get back to make that task very difficult for Drew Murphy. And ultimately, the free kick is... No, it's not a free kick. It's actually going to be a ball up called by the umpire. Just metres out from the East Point goal. Good rapid ball movement there on that occasion by the Roos.
Yeah, their first 7 or 8 minutes have been really good, Wes.
Can they claw back this deficit? Diving in. Ball spills out. That was Suter. Got it across to a teammate who goes long and goes wide and a little too wide there on that occasion. 9.5 minutes have gone. 36 plays 9. Now Ballarat to out a match of the day. It's a cracker, albeit that the advantage is 27 points to the favour of the undefeated Melton. Kick comes in board. That's Mitch Walsh. Moves it on by foot as he plays on and kicks inside 50. Challenging. There's McIntyre. The big fella does well. Got it off to Kite. Riley Walker into the corridor. Ooh, not such a good tackle there on that occasion, and drawing the ire of the Melton players. Jack Walker was the player offended against, and he just wants to move the ball quickly. Kicks to a one-on-one. Carter dispenses of his rival. He's got a couple of opponents to contend with. Offloads to his teammate in Jacob Hickey. Inside 50, top of the goal square stuff. Kick off the ground. Getting across Melton and a number of East Point defenders. And we've got a yellow card. So
yeah, it's going to make it difficult for East Point now, Wes. And Melton prepared to stick to their game plan and use the ball through the midfield. Young Jack Walker gets hit in the head there, or high one, but they were still prepared to use it.
So Mitch Walsh has been given a yellow card. That's a blow for East Point. They are in deficit by 27 points at the 10-minute mark.
The umpire's still doing his paperwork there, I think, Wes.
Yeah.
I think you've made a report as well.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for East Point. They have to work hard on the last line. Kick from defensive 50. Front position there on that occasion was with McDougall, but doing well was Brock Kennedy. And we'll have another ball up. Five, 6:36 plays 1:39. Kotorenko does well. Free kick is going to be pulled out. It's going to go the way of the Roos. Worm-burning kick and finds Bryson McDougall. McDougall. He's just assessing his options. Goes to right half forward. Johnston on the lead. Good mark. He's 60 metres from home.
They're just going to have to be patient with their ball use in the forward half now, Wes, because it's been man down, and it just allows Melton to drop an extra man back in defence. Just interesting, you noted Brock Kennedy a moment ago, played for Echuca throughout the 2019 season, was unfortunately dropped for the grand final, and found his way back to this area.
Here's Johnston. Very deliberate. We've got a good angle here. That's a beautiful kick off the boot. He's kicked it. He's matched his outstanding marking today with a sensational set shot on goal. And Jordan Johnston boots his first major of the game. He's kicked 8-6-5. He's got one today. And East Point, their supporters, no doubt, will be hoping that he can really pour on the goals today and bring his side back into the contest. They're currently trailing by 21 points. They sit at 2-3-15, trailing Melton 5-6-36, and we have gone 12 minutes into this second quarter.
And it's just good to see him going back deep into the goal square. In fact, I'd isolate him even further, Wes, and then that just allows the spare Melton defender not to be able to fall back on him.
Merritt's in there. In fact, that was Matt Johnston pack forms.
I think the game's gone up a notch, Wes, just in the last couple of minutes.
Well, I think it's certainly evened out, hasn't it? The early burst that we saw from Melton, I think, has been matched pretty well. Good work by Matt Johnston. Over to Rodimer Onus. Doing well there was Lovig. Releasing Johnston inside 50. Awkward footy. Oh, Melton could be trapped with the ball here. No, they do very nicely to get the ball out to the advantage of Lachlan Phillips. Sweeping handball from Jordan Cotter. Really clever work. Now Melton might be away. They have it at right half back.
Yeah, they're going to be outnumbered, the East Point forwards at the moment because of the yellow card, and we need the kick to go higher to Johnson in that forward half.
Walker. Manito. Manito has it between right half back and centre wing outer side of the ground. Uses the stand rule effectively. Kicks with penetration. Kicks to a 2-on-1 situation. This is where the Bloods can outnumber the Pointers right at the moment. They'll be bursting to get that extra player back on the field. Although East Point do very well. The kick towards 50. Fisted away. Ball at ground level. Ooh, solid tackle. Umpire deems it was over the shoulder. And it's going to go the way of Jordan Johnston. And a 50-metre penalty. So the free kick went against Brenton Payne there on that occasion. It was deemed high. And the 50, Brett, was that kicking the ball away there on that occasion that cost the 50?
Yeah, I think it was, Wes, but just a bit more feeling in the game again. As I said a moment ago, there's a bit more intensity in it. And look, Johnson's a guy. He's the one who's going to turn this game on its head, I think.
Well, he is taken to the goal square. He comes in directly in front, and he kicks truly. Not surprisingly, he's got his second. The margin's back to 15 points in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day. Melton 5-6-36. 15-point leaders over East Point. 3-3-21. Johnston has 2.
Ever since losing the man with the yellow card, Wes, I think they've kicked 2 goals. So sometimes, even being outnumbered and kicking with a bit of a bruise, it can still somehow help you. But I just give Johnson the whole forward 50. I just set him up there by himself and see what he can do. He's already kicked 2 of the 3 goals. Well,
the margin's back to 15 points. We're only really, in effect, midway through this second term. We are finding that there is a clear advantage to that end, as there's only been the 1 goal kicked to the northern end. There's Rodimer Onus, Mawson. Rodimer Onus releases, the free kick's going to go the way of Melton. It's going to go the way of Bailey Mawson.
Bit of a let off for Melton there. The East Point wingers are keeping their width and being used by hand from the midfielders from East Point at the moment and getting a bit of run and carry.
Well, they were out there on that occasion, weren't they?
Yep.
Here's Walker of the Riley variety. Finds his teammate in Blake Suter. Retreats with the kick. Back to Riley Walker as they just, the old waxing the footy. Builds the possessions. The kick. The wind really caught that kick on that occasion, and it travels only so far as Bryson McDougall. So we're seeing a significant impact that the wind's playing today. The kick inside 50. That's surely a free kick. It's going to go the way of Matt Johnston. The push in the back. I reckon he sensed the body contact from behind, and not that it was a staging effort, but certainly maybe just allowed himself to be moved forward there on that occasion, and now will be the recipient of the free kick.
Yeah, really interesting. Where's the ball certainly falling short to left of screen, and East Point just getting the ball in there, and every time they've got it in there, they're providing opportunities for forwards to have shot on goal.
Here's Johnston searching for his first major of the game. Subtle angle, kicking to the southern end. The kick off the boot is missing to the left. The margin sits at 14 points as East Point move along to 3-4-22. But they trail Melton 5-6-36 in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day. Oh, that's a significant miss, that one. Cotter uses the outer side of the ground. Big leap from Melton. Nice mark. And the Bloods have it at right half back. It's Tom Button. Moving it forward, and Kick partially smothered there on that occasion, I suspect. Just held it up nicely. East Point will be pretty happy with that result.
Absolutely, and just not getting back off the mark far enough. And the East Point supporters starting to find a bit of voice. Wes?
McIntyre up against Brown. One away by East Point, although the kick's smothered. Oh, nice work. Pinching the pocket there on that occasion. Ball comes out to Jordan Kite. Kicks it forward. Carter is the target. It's a one-on-one. The foot race is on. Good work by Dallas Martin. Happy to find the refuge of the boundary line.
When Melton break forward of centre, Wes, they look really dangerous, and they've got so much grass to carry the ball over. You know, they've got space in front of them, and they're getting a one-on-one forward of the footy. But at the moment, East Point just stopping them from hitting the scoreboard. They've
got some foot speed too, haven't they, Melton, when they get possession? Footy at ground level. Lachlan Watkins is in there. Pack forms, umpire intervenes. We'll have a ball up. 40 metres out from the Melton goal. They're in command by 14 points in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day. It's a really entertaining contest. Hope you're enjoying it. And we may have a blood rule coming into effect.
Just in front of us, Wes, got a spare Melton defender. I think the East Point forward needs to hop in between the two of them so he can negate both. He can either flow back or go forward. At the moment, it's just too easy for number 28 for Melton in Riley Walker.
Jack Walker leaves the ground with the blood rule. East Point attempts to clear. Awkward bouncing football for Brown. He's grabbed by McIntyre. Umpire deems it was a little premature. The tackle, the kick towards a 2-on-1 situation, and that is precisely what Brett Henderson was talking about. Mark taken by Riley Walker. Sends it out to the point of the square. Melton supporters call for the 50. Umpire not swayed, despite the vocal nature of the Melton supporters. Front position was with East Point, but it's taken by Jacob Hickey. Moves it forward to a man in space. Lachlan Watkins. Worm-burning kick. Carter, he had second position. And East Point take it on the last line. In deficit by 14 points. The Roos, but looking a lot better as we approach the 20-minute mark of this second quarter. Oh, right through the hands of East Point. That was Jack Jeffrey. Spilled a mark he should have taken. Ball spills free. Here's the Roos trying to burst through. Now a quick kick. Awkward bouncing football. Rotama Onus. Oh, awkward over the top there on that occasion. East Point front position. Doing very nicely there on that occasion was McDougall. Finds his teammate further forward, and the mark's taken by Geordie Slater.
Well, interesting, Wes. You know, the forward entries from East Point haven't been the cleanest, and they've been a little bit chaotic. But I think it's worked to their advantage, and the Melton defenders are probably thinking the ball's going to come in a little bit cleaner than it has, and they've been a bit reactive, and East Point a bit better at ground level.
Geordie Slater, an opportunity to reduce it to a single-digit margin separating the two sides. Looking for the fourth for East Point. Slater comes in now, kicks to the southern end, flushes it. Terrific goal for East Point. Slater's got his first. They've moved along for 4-4-28, trailing by 8 points over Melton, 5-6-36 in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day.
Yeah, scoreboard reflecting now Wes a 1v2 game, and as you said at quarter time, you'd like to see both sides. It's like a cricket game, both sides bat first and see where the game's at. And at the moment, you know, both pretty evenly poised. So East Point doing well with 17 men at the moment. Must be due to return to 18 shortly.
Kotorenko up against McIntyre. McIntyre with a second effort. Wrapped up in the tackle. No prior opportunity. Umpire says we'll have a ball up. 5-6 plays 4-4. Really entertaining game. McIntyre gets the handball out. Taken away by the Crummers of East Point. Kick towards half forward. East Point, well done Slater. Kick that last goal over to Johnston. We're in the long sleeves. Looks for JJ. Jordan Johnston couldn't take the mark. Here's Phillips. Doing well was Cotter. Ball comes back in. East Point with an opportunity. McDougall. Ball over the top. Umpire says there was a push. Just slightly out of position there on that occasion, McDougall, wasn't he?
Yeah, just slightly. Wasn't far away from it, Wes. But they're looking very dangerous, East Point.
Mawson from the last line. Kicks to defensive 50. Ball at ground level, comes out to Johnston. Goes back into traffic. Kick to the pocket. Oh, nice juggling mark, Jackson Merritt. Showed all the skills that we know exemplified his 50-plus AFL games with Essendon.
Yeah, that was well, you were using cricket analogies, Wes. That was a good slips catch, that one, and gives them another shot on goal. And they just kept the ball alive in the forward half and keep building pressure on the Melton defenders.
Tough angle for Merritt. Steps around the shot on goal. It's across the face. Through from behind. Misses to the right. 7 points separate the sides as East Point move along to 4-5-29, trailing Melton 5-6-36. 22 minutes gone in this second quarter in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day. This is Cotter with the kick-in duties. Kick towards defensive 60. Looping handball over the top came from Mawson. Ball over the boundary line. Cotter's that small defender playing a Daniels-like role that plays for the Western Bulldogs.
Yeah. Just trying to set things up.
The distributor.
The distributor, absolutely.
Like a nice kick of the footy. Kotorenko wins it down. East Point will go into attack once again. Juggling mark taken by Johnston. His third good mark of the game. He's a hard-up leader. He'll settle over the Sharon and aim for his third to the southern end of McPherson Park Oval number 1. And this to reduce the margin, Brett, back to 1 point.
Absolutely. I just think this guy should be playing at a higher level. He's got every attribute. Hopefully he kicks a goal, but as I said before, I think he could be the difference. Johnston,
shot on goal from 50. Gun barrel straight. The Roos are right back into this contest. It's just 1 point separating the two sides. 5-5-35 as JJ kicks his third. And we have gone some 23 minutes into this second quarter. And what a game we've got in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day for the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League.
Yeah, just really frantic forward line work from East Point. Just keeping the ball alive. Johnson getting some separation from the defender.
Kotorenko up against McIntyre again. Watkins kicks forward. Clever handball off to Hickey. Oh, dispensed. And it's a downfield. It's gone the way of Melton. And it's going to go to Carter, the danger man up forward for the Bloods. He's already kicked a couple. And Ryan Carter has an opportunity to match Jordan Johnston as the most dangerous forward on the ground with 3. Directly in front. Got quite a lengthy run up as he approaches now. He'll kick from 35 metres out to the northern end. The shot on goal. Goal umpire hardly has to work. His teammates go to him. He's got his third. Ryan Carter has 3 and Melton, quick response. They move along to 6-6-42, leading by 7 points over East Point. 5-5-35.
Just a great kick. Kick through the footy wears. Didn't let the conditions worry him. And just really importantly, they've been able to kick 2 goals against the Breeze. But look, it's a seesawing battle at the moment. I'm sure if East Point can hit back here and even it up before half-time, they'd be thrilled with that.
I think what we are seeing is that first quarter domination of 30 points as Rhoda Mahona sends his side forward once again. Nice juggling mark taken by Mawson. That first quarter advantage clearly was so very seriously impacted by the wind.
Yes.
This is Phillips. Short options on. Spots up Hickey. Defensive side of centre wing. Commentary side of the ground. Murphy stands the mark. Plays on now. Hickey heads in the McIntyre direction. Had front position. Had first hands. Didn't take it. Over the shoulder. And the Bloods will go forward via Brenton Payne. Payne kicks in the Carter direction. He'll be second in line. Ball at ground level. Good work by the Pointers. A little bit of a nudge in the back there on that occasion by Geordie Taylor. And the umpire saw it. is Hickey. Retreats with the kick. Wants to create a bit of space. They're going to go to the fat side of the ground using Riley Walker. And in turn, Liam Carter. Cotter.
Looks like they're just wanting to take a bit of time off the clock here, Wes. Get to half-time, goal up.
Clocking up the possessions, the Melton defenders. Just looking to work their way through the web. Back they go. And the siren sounds. And they, in fact, did see out the latter stages of that second quarter to good effect. At half-time, it is Melton by just 7 points in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day. Melton 6-6-42, leading East Point 5-5-35. At quarter time, it was the Bloods by 30 points. But East Point have certainly worked their way back into the contest. And we can see that Ryan Carter has kicked 3 goals for Melton. And we have Hickey with 1 and Borg with 1. And also Walker with 1. And for East Point, Jordan Johnston has 3 goals, Geordie Slater and Jackson Merritt 1 goal apiece. For just prior to our McCafe halftime break, Brett Henderson, your thoughts on the game to this point?
Well, I think both coaches now go in and know what cards they're playing with, Wes. What deck of cards they're playing with. They know the conditions, so is that going to alter their tactics at all? You know, first quarter, Melton fabricated or manufactured a spare back. Will they do that again? Or are they just going to go for it? I really don't know. It's going to be really interesting what sort of tactics the coaches put into it. Really evenly poised. I think Johnson for East Point is the guy that's really making the difference. Once again, I'd isolate him in the forward 50, but you know Carter's doing a good job. Liam Carter's doing a good job down forward for Melton. And, yeah, you know, I think both those guys are certainly going to have an influence on the outcome of the game.
Well, it's certainly a very entertaining game and one that we're really enjoying as our Ballarat Toyota match of the day. At halftime, in fact, the goal umpires have corrected the scoring and they are now suggesting, and they have actually, not sure if they've confirmed, that the scoreboard says 6-6-42 plays 5-6-36. And we'll just wait until we've had that confirmed. But well, I think what we're getting here is the message that these are two sides that we're going to be seeing in September.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's been a really fast game. I think the only thing both clubs might want to look at is just, you know, giving away some free kicks, just taking the pressure off the opposition. And perhaps times they don't need to. But I think, yeah, you're right. I think both of these clubs are certainly going to be there at the pointy end.
So we were actually right. The scoreboard was just slightly in error. It's actually a 7-point margin at halftime. As we take the McCafe halftime break, it's Melton 6-6-42, leading East Point by that 7-point margin, 5-5-35. We'll be back for the second half of action in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day in the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League on the other side of this McCafe halftime break.
As proud sponsors of the Ballarat Football Netball League, we love supporting local.
And love community sport, and we encourage everyone to get out there, support your local football and netball league, and of course, support local business.
And North Ballarat.
You're trying to shut me down, mate. Is that right? We welcome you back for the second half of our Ballarat Toyota match of the day. The Ballarat Toyota scoreboard tells the story of a very tight contest. Melton 6-6-42 leading by 7 points over East Point 5-5-35. I'm Wes Cusworth and Brett Henderson is in the commentary position with me as the players begin to move into position.
Going to be an interesting quarter, I think, Wes. East Point will be wanting to make sure that the lead at three-quarter time isn't too significant. If they can sort of keep within 3 or 4 goals, I think they'd go into three-quarter time very happy with that. Melton, if they can get a lead of 6-7 goals, are going to be hard to peg back.
And what's interesting too is that threatening rain that appeared to be on the horizon appears to have gone around us at this point, which is very good news. I mean, we're undercover, but we want to see a game of football that's played without inclement conditions.
Particularly when there's a huge advantage to one end, and if the sides use that advantage twice and then it rains, it certainly takes away the equality in the contest, I suppose.
Umpire holds the Sharon aloft and says we're about to get things underway in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day. Up and down the Sharon goes and a pack forms as Johnson gathers possession. Quickly gets a handball out to the advantage of Rhoda Moronis, who kicks forward, but Manito takes the mark. Defensive side of centre. Immediately looks sideways then, Manito. Now he uses the stand rule and does go sideways with the kick. It's a bit of an awkward one for Mawson, but Manito receives it back by hand from Mawson, who in turn then moves it forward to Riley Walker. Now Walker kicks towards half forward. Good strong mark taken by Melton. And that was Liam Carter.
And Manito's got the best job in football, spare back for Melton. East Point got a spare back as well.
He's the ideal man for the job, Manito. Had a chat to him before the game. He was very optimistic and enthusiastic about this contest today. I saw him a fortnight ago against North Ballarat. He did some really good things playing a similar sort of role, and here he is again today.
That's a good nickname, Wes. Funky Cold.
Funky Cold Manito.
Yes, apparently.
Now, is that a nickname you're giving him, or is that a nickname that you've been told is his nickname?
Well, I will take credit for it if you think it's good enough.
I'll have to check with him after the game to see what his thoughts are. The ball over the boundary line, and we'll have a throw in right half forward. The Bloods into attack. The ladder leading Melton Football Club, unconquered to this point in the season. I'd like to keep it this way. McIntyre up against Brown. Brown front position, goes with the left. Then goes at ground level. Good to see him fighting hard. Taking possession was Ganley. Handball over the top, taken by the Bloods. That's Borg. Inside 50, big leap. It was East Point in front position, but not able to hold the mark was Jacob Brown, the ball over the line. To be thrown in some 20 metres around from the Melton goal.
East Point have doubled down, Wes. I think they've got 2 spare backs now because Melton has certainly got 2 living behind the ball.
It's almost the flood, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Was it the Terry Wallace flood? Was it Terry
Yes.
Wallace that we give credit to? Rhoda Moronis.
Yes, absolutely.
That shut Essendon down that season when they were undefeated. Too high. tackle is just slipping over the shoulder there on that occasion. And Melton have a free kick. I'll just spot up that player. Might be Suter. And his teammates are saying, mate, you just need to settle over the Sharon here and kick this. You've got the breeze on offer to your back. And he's going to kick from just outside 50, which is going to be testing. Steps to the arc. It is Suter. Nice long kick off the boot. The big fly on the line. It's off hands through for a minor score. There's our first score of the third term. It's now an 8-point margin enjoyed by the home side. 6-7. 43 plays 5-5 35.
And this is the way East Point want to play. Just kick mark game again, coming out of the back half.
Lovig. McIntyre, big leap, was third in line. Just carried the two players in front of him, and the big fella takes the mark at the back. Precision passing to Carter. Oh, I tell you what, I don't reckon you've seen too many ruckmen deliver the footy like that. Lace out to the forward.
No, it was a lovely kick, but you know, I think East Point fell for the old trick of just kicking it straight down the line to the opposition ruckman, and you know, he's going to grab most of those and then use the ball so well then it hurts you twice.
Well, this is Liam Carter. He's kicking for his first goal of the game. And once again, not dissimilar to the previous shot on goal for Melton. This one is going to come from just outside the arc. The kick now is going the journey. The double cobra from Liam Carter as he kicks his first major. 7-7-49, the Bloods. Now, 14-point leaders over East Point, 5-5-35. And I think that there's a real theme happening here is that we can see that Melton, when they're within 50-55 metres of goal, they are going to have a shot on goal.
They're going to have a shot on goal. They think they can get the extra yardage with the breeze behind them. But East Point coming out of the back line just cannot kick the opposition ruckman. It's just going to kill them. The ball's going to come back in and put them under enormous pressure. Brown
and McIntyre, one by Brown. But it's the takeaway with Lachlan Watkins. Kicks towards half forward. The Bloods run onto it. Our goal kicker, Liam Carter, did well with the gather, not so well with the kick, although he goes back for a second dibs on it. Ball spills out to the advantage of the Bloods. The shot on goal is across the face and goes the journey for just waiting to see what the goal umpire indicates here. That was Lachlan here with the shot. And the goal umpire is now indicating that that is a behind. 7-8-50. The margin, 15 points separating the two sides. East Point 5-5-35. That's on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. This is Lovey. Nice long penetrating kick. Oh, Brown, the big leap on that occasion, got very high, couldn't cling onto it. And that means that Melton at ground level do well to send it straight back in. Carter was third in line. Ball goes to ground. Dispossessed. East Point fighting hard. Take possession, wrapped up in the tackle. That's Braden Kite with the tackle. And, boy, that was a big leap there on that occasion by Brown.
Yeah, he certainly got up high, Wes, but once again, you know, just kicking long and high down the line, it's just going to be chopped off by Melton and come straight back at that. Then they've got to lower their eyes, wait for something to open up. Short kick mark game until they can get forward of centre.
Well, we saw Melton in that second quarter really try to pick their way through the web, didn't we? The kick. Oh, good work by Mawson, running the same direction as the football. Sends it straight back into the top of the square. Carter second in line, fisted away, taken by the Bloods. Handball spills out to the advantage of a teammate now deemed to have not disposed adequately, and the free kick's been won by Chris Carson.
They've just got to change it up here, Wes. 3 times now they've gone long down that line, and it's really hurt them. And that's a better kick.
And that's Matt Johnston that marks at left half back. Inspirational leader for the Roos. Uses the stand rule, runs around and kicks towards centre wing. Or Brown and McIntyre. The duel looked good there, but the man in front was Jordan Johnston, who's a long way from home. They won't mind him taking marks there. Short option was on to Jordan Taylor. Now Rhoda Moronis. He's inside 50. Over the top of McIntyre on full stretch. McIntyre provides a shepherd for his teammate. East Point going to get the football. And the umpire says we'll have a ball up.
So that was the way, Wes, you know, 3 or 4 short kicks along the wing, able to hit their teammates, and now they've got it deep into their forward line or in a spot where they can really keep the ball in there and build pressure on the Melton defence.
Melton by 15 points. McIntyre up against Brown. Quick kick comes from the boot of Jake Tallman. Mark taken! Guess who? JJ. He's got 3 to his name already.
Well, it's a pretty simple game, Wes, isn't it? You know, you look at that, the way they did that was absolutely spot on. And just to get that stoppage, win the stoppage, build the pressure on them, and now Johnson's going for his 4th goal. As we've said all day, Wes, this is a guy that can really, you know, turn the tables East Point's way.
And it was good work by Jake Tallman just to move the ball so quickly. It was almost a bit chaotic in Johnston front position. Kicking for number 4 and cut the margin back to 9 points. Johnson, 45-degree angle, will kick from 30 metres out. The shot on goal is a beautiful kick for goal. He's got 4. And now East Point move along to 6-6-41, trailing Melton 7-8-50 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day. The margin is back to 9 points. Johnson with 4. And I know you want him at a higher level. I know East Point don't want to lose him, but gee, you love to see players like him take their game to its full extent.
Oh, look, I just think he'd be a really good VFL player, whereas he was a very good NAB League player. I know he's 23, 24 now, but gee, he's still got some upside in him. And I think that's their first score to the left of screen, so it's really game on. Yeah,
it is indeed. Good pick-up, Brett. Well done. They didn't score in the first term. Takeaway is with Melton. Oh, Rhoda Moronis arrived just a split second too late there to stop that ball going forward for Melton. But it is Nesta, who's been pretty good today down back, and he's unceremoniously dispensed after the play. And so it's downfield, bit of push and shove behind the footy. This is Slater, and he in turn finds Jordan Taylor. The players know there's plenty on this game. Short kick from Taylor. Rhoda Moronis is in there. Ball spills out to the advantage of Walsh. Oh, the kick's not so good. There's Manito. Funky cold Manito. Dispossessed of in the tackle. Oh, there's a little bit going on behind there. There's a couple of spot fires breaking out here at McPherson Park. No love lost between these two sides. They both realise just what is on this contest. But it's going to be Kite sending his team forward to half-forward. Good mark. Taken by Liam Carter. It's a one-on-one further forward. Good work defensively by East Point. They've got the numbers back on this occasion. Chris Carson can just steady things down. Although his kick comes back into the corridor and Manito almost cuts that off. Cleverly, Jackson Merritt. Now they spill it out wide and progress with a worm-burning kick. It's a little bit too short on that occasion. Clash of bodies. A couple of East Point players ran into one another and we'll have a ball up. 7-9-51 plays 6-5-41.
Execution, perhaps just letting them down by foot at the moment, East Point, but the idea is right. And once again, that extra insurance of extra man back really helped in that last Melton forward line thrust.
Tough contest as we tick over the 10-minute mark of our third term. Very entertaining contest between these two talented sides. The pace setter of the competition, the most viable challenger to this point in time. In saying that, I don't want to dismiss the likes of North Ballarat, who's a very good side. Ballarat, we saw Ballarat beat North Ballarat. Yep. First time we joined forces for the Ballarat Toyota match of the day. That was really entertaining. There's some really good sides in the competition. Everyone will consider themselves a chance. Rhoda Moronis. Oh, the big fly on that occasion from Phillips. That was Lovick. Tried to get a quick kick away. Mawson. Whistle's blown. Going to take it back to left half back.
There's probably two things East Point are playing against here. Whereas they're playing against a really good opposition, but they're also playing against the clock in this quarter. And just trying to make sure that these guys, Melton, don't hit the scoreboard too much.
Manito always looks for width. They'll sweep across the last line. Now a long kick comes to the favour of Braden Kite. Good ball movement on this occasion by Melton. They've really opened things right up. This is Walker into the path of a teammate further afield in Liam Carter. One-handed handball. Umpire saw it. Well, I tell you what, East Point, they are right under the pump on that last line. Carson switches. Oh, cut off by McIntyre. He'll send it straight back inside 50. Let's have a look at the disposal skills of the big fella. He kicks towards the corridor and kicks only so far as Liam Canny.
Perhaps not as good as last time, Wes, but once again, he just can't kick out to the big guy. He's really having an influence.
Big Brett McIntyre doesn't mind a run with the footy either, I might add.
He's quite agile, Wes, for a big fella.
Lovig. And his kick is bouncing over the line to be thrown in. 7-9-51, plays 6-5-41, 10-point margin.
Game really in balance here now, Wes. Really is either way. If Melton hit the scoreboard or East Point stop the scoreboard, it's going to go a long way towards sides winning.
Hanley, just beyond his stretch, one would imagine. Short kick, cut off by the Pointers. Desperate defensive work. That was good by Joe Dodd. Left footer, sends it out wide. Merritt uses the wing, kicks to the advantage of Slater over his head. Now they're able to go forward by foot. Awkward bouncing football for Cotter. Taken by Toolman. Kick towards goal. Bouncing, bouncing, bouncing! Another goal for East Point. They've pulled one back. Their second goal to that northern end. And terrific stuff as we see Jake Toolman kick his first goal of the game. And the margin is back to just 4 points.
Well, even if you can just get a one-on-one, Wes, down the side at the end of the field where it's been hard to score against that breeze, it's just giving the forward a bit of an opportunity, that 50-50 chance. And, both sides have set up really well into the breeze. And I'd say now, even though on the scoreboard they're behind, East Point are probably in front in the game.
McIntyre, Kotorenko. Bit of tunnel ball in the middle of the ground, and there's a hold. The umpire says it's going to go the way of Melton, and McIntyre the recipient. McIntyre kicks towards the lead from half forward. Kite runs onto it. Can't gather clean possession. Pointers take possession via Van Meel over the shoulder.
I just think one area East Point need to work on, Wes, is their tackling today. They've probably given away 6 or 7 free kicks and really taken the pressure off the opposition. Just a little bit high.
Suter looks for the corridor. Big boys flood back. East Point, a couple of players collide. Looping handball over the top. Snap on goal, and Melton's got another one back. The Bloods quickly respond. And once again, just when they're threatened, you see that the response comes from Carter. That's of the Liam variety. Kicks his second goal of the quarter, second of the game. And the margin's back out to 10 points. 8-9-57 Melton. East Point 7-5-47.
Just those quality footballers, Johnson for East Point, Carter for Melton. The key forwards, the guys that are going to hit the scoreboard when the game's up for grabs, and they're doing that, both of them.
Big leap. Doing the ruck work on this occasion was Brenton Payne for Melton. Kick inside 50. The Bloods once again. Liam Carter runs onto it, runs out of room in which to move. The ball to be thrown in some 20 metres around from the scoring zone. Left forward pocket. 8-9-57 plays 7-5-47 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. Our round 8 match of the day proving to be very, very engaging and entertaining. Carter takes it out of the ruck. East Point gather possession. Quick kick comes from the boot of Martin. Now Ganley puts into the path of Toolman, the last goal kicker for East Point. The ball over the boundary line between left half forward and centre wing. Melton into attack midway through this third quarter. I just wonder if the breeze might have dropped off a little bit, Brett, which is potentially aiding East Point's progress into attack. Melton will go into attack on this occasion. Carter, front position. Carter takes the mark. Liam Carter, what a third quarter he's having.
Yeah, he certainly is, mate. He's certainly stepped up. This is what he's going for his third goal of the quarter. Quality footballer, as I said before, you know, been VFL listed and starting to see some of those attributes come to the fore.
Well, Ryan's kicked 3. Liam's going for 3. Let's follow its progress. Kicking from directly in front. 30 metres out. Shot on goal. Gun barrel straight. Liam Carter's got 3. The margin stretches to 16 points here at McPherson Park.
Just a seesaw in battle, Wes, and look, I really can't pick a winner at the moment, even though Melton 16 points up. I think they probably need to be 6 goals up at three-quarter time to feel a little bit safe in these conditions, although, as you mentioned, that breeze may have just dipped a bit. But, you know, the next 10 minutes are going to be really critical for East Point.
Yeah, I think it certainly has dropped off a little bit. I don't feel as assaulted by the cold breeze here as I was earlier. Back in the middle. And we'll have another ball up. As we tick towards the 18-minute mark of our third quarter. Liam Carter 3, Ryan Carter 3. Over the shoulder. It's going to go the way of East Point. Joe Dodd, left footer. Uses Johnston. Johnston long to 2-on-1 situation. Geordie Johnston was running back with the flight of the football. Couldn't get there quickly enough. That's Suter. Puts it into the path of a teammate. How does it bounce for him? He's got an opponent right on his hammer. That's good defensive work on that occasion by Liam Canny. Offloads to Brown. Short kick, not so good. Braden Kite. Geez, a consistent player, Braden Kite.
He's been very good today, Wes.
Never lets you down. Have a look at this kick. Hits its target, although the mark not taken by Jacob Hickey, but he's still got a bit of room in which to move. Oh, pushing the back. It was either going to be a free kick or a mark, and it's going to be 50.
Just a couple of undisciplined things from East Point today, Wes, and you can't afford to give that 50 up, you know, when the game's so close. You don't want to be given a 50 away at any stage.
Yeah, just unnecessary. It wasn't even really a spoiling attempt there on that occasion.
No, and it's just, I spoke about it a couple of minutes ago, just taking the pressure off the opposition at crucial stages. You just got to keep building and layering pressure on the opposition until they crack, and at the moment they've just released it too many times.
Well, Melton leads by 16 points as we tick towards the 20-minute mark. The kick on goal is a terrific answer coming from the Bloods. An important goal as they stretch the margin once again. Moving along to 10-9, 69 to 7-47.
I think East Point have only got 2 goals to play with here. That's my opinion. I think if Melton can get another 2 goals, they're going to be hard to chase down. So, you know, the window's really open for Melton here. But East Point, if they can get one back, just gives them a little bit more room to move.
So Lachlan Hickey kicking truly on that occasion. Being brought within range by a bit of lack of discipline there on that occasion. So 22 points separate the two sides. 10-9 plays 7-5 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. Secondary ball up. And I reckon we're going to have another one.
East Point would be happy with this, Wes. Just repeat stoppage, you know.
Just can't concede any more ground, can they? Big punch away there on that occasion by Brown. That was good. Jeffrey slung as he gets his kick away. Deemed to be a dangerous tackle. Downfield. Rhoda Moronis. Mikaja sends it inside 50. The hard lead comes, but Suter drifts back courageously with the flight of the football to take the mark at the right half back. Pushes it out wide to Luke Heaney. His side in command by 22 points. Retreats with the kick. Pretty comfortable in doing that, aren't they? This is a dangerous kick to Suter. falls a little bit short, but he's good enough to get the handball off to Walker, who in turn went to a teammate. And a high tackle.
I don't know if that was deliberate. I think it was.
I think it was just. I think it was.
Play, but
yeah.
Hard to see from here. Whereas there's no real remonstration from.
No, I don't think. Melton are of that opinion either.
I think he sort of lost his feet a little bit as he took the ball.
Yeah. Well, we wish him well. We know that he's got good care around him with the trainers that have moved to him right now. Just got a bit of a stoppage in play. So both sides, well, the majority of both sides actually moving in place. They've taken the stretcher out, but now they're dispensing with the stretcher and escorting the player concerned off the field. We'll just.
I think it's Walker, Wes.
Sorry to see the young fella hurt. But I think you're right. I don't think there was any malice at all, and that's evident in the fact that there was no remonstration or anything like that by the Melton players. They're just accepting of the fact that it's a free kick, and unfortunately the young fella's being taken from the ground in the hands of the trainers. Riley Walker.
Yeah.
Wishing him well. Here's Manito. Last line of defence. Pushes it to the left back pocket. And then progressing further afield, and Heaney takes the mark at left half back. Moving the ball forward by foot, Walker. Defensive side of centre wing. Kicks to the advantage of Lachlan Walker. And a little up and under. Melton progressing the footy really quick, quite nicely here. Here's Carter of the Liam variety in plenty of space by himself. The kick towards Braden Kite. Juggling attempt, almost took the mark. Quick snap out of the pack. Ball goes the journey. It's another one for Melton.
Well, it's really interesting, like the East Point spare back. Like, I think he needs to be positioned close to the football. A kick and a half behind where the football is at the moment. Just too far back and can't impact anything. If he gets a kick and a half behind the play, then he can sort of run off and be that spare for him to use in the back half. But at the moment, just sort of not being able to impact there. I think he just needs to reposition himself.
And all of a sudden, the margin's out to 28 points as Jacob Hickey kicks the goal. 11-9-75, plays 7-5-47. Body on body, the ruck work. Neither got off the ground there on that occasion, and we'll have a secondary ball up. Ticking towards three-quarter time here. Hill Vale. Melton Bloods, fantastic facility out here at McPherson Park. Quick kick off the ground. No great advantage. Hurried handball out. Umpire goes down. Kite. Hickey. Out wide. This is Borg. Back inside. Swings onto the left, kick towards the Carter direction. Ball fisted away. There's a hold. And it's going to go the way of Melton. They want advantage. The umpire's given it. Seemed to be a fair delay there between the free kick being paid and the player on the line going on and kicking the goal.
Well, I think Melton have got themselves in a really good position now, Wes. It's going to be hard for East Point to come back from this. I think, you know, if you go in three-quarter time 40 points down, that's a big ask. So 34 down at the moment, still doable, but they wouldn't want to get hurt in the scoreboard again. And once again, it's just perhaps a tackling technique that has just let them down at crucial stages.
Well, those last three goals, it's exploded from a 16-point advantage to a 34-point advantage in the space of just a couple of minutes. Casting aside the delay that we had for Riley Walker being taken from the ground. This time, an opportunity emerges for Joe Dodd to send his side forward, but in turn, he sends his side sideways. Ganley moves it forward to Murphy. Worm-burning kick. Jeffrey at right half forward. 12.981 plays 7.547. Cut off by Lachlan Walker. 35 from defensive goal. Short options on. They'll pick their way out of defence. They do work their way into space really quite nicely, Melton. You can see why they're such an accomplished side this season. 2-on-1 situation. Front position was with Mitch Walsh. Oh, fisted to the advantage of Melton. They're away. Opportunity in the corridor over the top of Jacob Hickey's head there on that occasion. Oh, he's gathered it back. Little snap on goal. It's a one-on-one situation. Melton in front. Mark taken. Another shot to come. Well, they've really just opened this game up in the latter stages of this third quarter. And this is Liam Carter, who will settle over the Sharon for number 4.
Is it number 4 this quarter, Wes? Outstanding quarter from Liam. Great footballer. He's certainly been the difference over the last 27, 28 minutes.
For number 4 in the third term, and he kicks truly. Gee, the Carter boys are nice shots on goal. They move along to 13.987, now 40-point leaders over East Point. This game has turned dramatically, particularly in the latter stages of this third term.
Well, it comes back to psychology again now for East Point, doesn't it? You know, you're playing a side that's been unbeaten. You're 40 points down going into time on the third quarter. You know, you can either accept what's being handed to you, or you can sort of stand up and have a go back. And I think they need to get a goal or two before three-quarter time somehow.
Well, I don't know that they're going to have enough time. 13.987, plays 7.547, although we did have a bit of a stop for the removal of Riley Walker as he needed to take some time to leave the ground. Melton forward once again. Pace, running forward, kick on goal. It's another one!
It's been a big quarter, Wes. Just winning the ball out of the midfield, spinning forward, playing that central football. You know, they like the corridor. They love to use it, and that stage there, easy just to run in and have an easy shot and goal.
They've got a number of players, including Harrison Hanley, who kicks that goal, that love to run with the football, and they certainly use it to good effect. They've got good skills, the Melton Bloods. 14.993 plays 7.547. They've kicked 5 in a row in probably about 5 minutes of actual play. McIntyre, Kite with the takeaway, throws it on the boot. Good distance with the kick. There's a hold. And it's going to go to the defender in Dallas Martin.
Just getting really well on top around stoppage and centre bounce clearance, Melton, at the moment, Wes.
Jacob Brown on full stretch. We've got a bit of trouble looming for East Point as this margin's blown out to 46 points. Big leap. Came from behind McIntyre with a fist forward. Taken at ground level, East Point. And Manito with the heavy tackle. Wasn't letting East Point out of his clutches there on that occasion. McIntyre and Brown. Throwing it on the boot is Watkins. Sky-high kick. The pointers on the last line. The kick towards the boundary. Over. And the umpire's happy that that was a genuine attempt to move the ball forward. Common sense shown by the umpire on that occasion.
Yeah, I think so, Wes. I think if we're downtown, it might have been...
could have been anything.
Deliberate. Yeah.
McIntyre edges Brown off the football. Quick kick forward. Cut off at half-back by East Point. In deficit by 46 points, the Roos. Plenty of work to do. And where I thought the breeze was maybe dropping off, I think it's actually still pretty evident. Opportunity for a... Well, I thought East Point were running forward there on that occasion, but the free kick's gone the way of Melton. It's Luke Heaney, the recipient. And a 50-metre penalty play paid.
Well, it's sort of fallen apart at the seams for East Point over the last 10, 15 minutes, Wes. And just... I suppose these free kicks for a start and then 50-metre penalties. I think the run of goals started with the 50-metre penalties. So these are probably things that they need to work on and perhaps get right before September, because I think they've got the ability to be a really good side at the end of the year. They've just got to fix this up.
I'm not quite sure what's happening with East Point, but the lack of discipline is costing them severely. There's a second 50-metre penalty. Now, that's going to take Luke Heaney from centre wing to the goal square. Shot on goal. This is another one to come, and the margin's going to be 52 points beyond this kick.
And it's pretty deflating, you know. You get three-quarter time and a couple of 50-metre penalties. Scoreboard says you're 9 goals down. Yeah, it's when you know that your best football is good enough to match Melton. But, yeah, the last 10, 15 minutes have been hard work for East Point supporters.
Heaney kicks truly, not surprisingly, from point-blank range. The margin stretches to 52 points, 15-9, 99 Melton. East Point marooned on 7-5-47. Midway through this third quarter, the margin was 16 points. It's now 52. This has been an explosive 5-goal burst. In fact, 6-goal burst by the home side. They've been quite extraordinary. And heavy tackle in the middle of the ground, and we'll have another ball up.
And I just think McIntyre's been a real architect behind this, Wes, you know, around the centre, stoppages, and winning these ruck contests and giving his on-balls first use.
He's a terrific player. Big leap on that occasion. No decisive winner. That was East Point trying to go off the ground. Furious contest. These players dive on the Sharon, and we'll have another ball up. So we're ticking towards the 33-minute mark. There have been a lot of goals kicked in this quarter now, which has really caused this quarter to stretch out. There's Manito. Nice gather on that occasion by Harrison Hanley. Did very well indeed. Awkward bouncing football. Good tackle on Mitch Walsh. Tough stuff from Blake Suter. Just wasn't going to let the big fella get away.
They've got a little bit of an anti-social feel about them, Melton, Wes. They're not easy to play against. They smell a bit of blood in the water, and they're really trying to make their mark here.
Very determined. Manito uses the outside of the right. Kick towards midfield. Under the path of Button. Running onto it. It's going to be East Point first to the footy, though, via Harry Ganley. East Point come laterally and find Mitch Walsh at half-back. Siren sounds, end of the third quarter. What an explosive third quarter for Melton. At halftime, just 7 points separated the sides, and at the midway mark of this third quarter, it was just 16 points separating the two sides, but a run of 6 goals, 6 unanswered goals by Melton, has seen them stretch the lead to 52 points. It's the Bloods 15-9, 99, East Point 7-5-47, and in fact, Melton 9 goals in that third quarter, and East Point, having not scored at all in that first term, actually were able to secure 2 goals of their own in that third quarter. So at three-quarter time in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day, the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard says Melton 15-9, 99, East Point 7-5-47. Brett, just a few thoughts before you maybe even take the opportunity to head out and listen to the coaches again.
Yeah, look, I thought McIntyre and the ruck started to give these on balls first use. I thought Kite was really instrumental, bit of pace. And then Liam Carter bobbed up, kicked 4 for the quarter, and just when they were being challenged. And you know, East Point had been so good up to that stage, but what cost them were free kicks and then subsequent 50-metre penalties, a couple of goals from those. It just sort of deflates everyone. So challenge is right in front of East Point now, because I don't think they'd want to walk away from here, currently being second on the ladder, and lose by 10, 12 goals. I think they've got to walk away from here having really pushed Melton. And if Melton win this by a big margin, it's only going to inject more confidence into them as the season, you know, unwinds.
Well, let's see how the fourth quarter action unfolds on the other side of this break. This is the Ballarat Toyota match of the day. Melton go to the three-quarter time break, 15-9, 99, leading by 52 points over East Point, 7-5-47.
As proud sponsors of the Ballarat Football Netball League, we love supporting local.
And love community sport, and we encourage everyone to get out there, support your local football and netball league, and of course, support local business.
Back with our Ballarat Toyota match of the day. You're with Wes Cusworth and Brett Henderson for, well, what was certainly a very tight contest at half-time. Just 7 points separating the two sides. And now it is 51 points as we've had confirmation of a slight score change. It's 15-8, 98 Melton, leading East Point 7-5-47. An explosive final few minutes saw 6 goals poured on by the home side, and that's precisely what East Point would need to replicate if there to be any chance in this game, Brett Henderson.
Absolutely, and they've got a bit of a chance now because McIntyre out of the ruck. It might give them first ball use, but they're going to have to go quick now, East Point. Take risks.
Fourth and final quarter in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day. The Carlton Draft post-game summary coming up on the other side of these 30 minutes of action. Mawson at ground level. Manito lays a tackle. Going nowhere.
Early signs good for East Point just as far as this quarter goes. Halfback flanker flicking through there. They're prepared to take it on here, I think, Wes.
Brown and Mawson, the two young guns. It was won by Brown, but we'll have another ball up, I suspect, as it's tight in the clinches. Players, no, there were a number of players from both sides hailing a cab there on that occasion, and the umpire, not interested, ultimately pulls out a free kick, and it goes the way of the Pointers. Johnston sends his side forward. Big leap came from his gun forward, and Geordie Johnston. Manito sweeps across the last line. Loves to switch, Manito. It's a constant theme of his game. Kite can't gather a clean possession. East Point does. Back inside 50. Big leap. Manito. Having a good game, isn't he, the young fella?
He's been very solid today, Wes. And as you say, he just likes to change angles with the ball usually.
Good penetration with the kick. Big leap on that occasion from Melton. I reckon the free kick's been paid. He copped a front-on contact there on that occasion. Did Lachlan Watkins, and the umpire was right on the scene. He looks a bit proppy, Watkins. Called the play on, up and under. The wind really holds that one up. Mawson, nice kick on outer wing. Nice mark, rather. So Mawson, who's got good leap, and you'll see him right to the final stages of this game. He'll run the game out well. He's a good athletic player. Nice leap on that occasion by East Point at half-back. Whereas the defenders normally like to fist the footy away. Mark taken on that occasion. Brown. East Point uses the central corridor. Inside 50 now. Good penetration with a kick. Johnston goes up. He's 1 on 2. Snap on goal comes, and he misses to the right. Good attacking football by Geordie Johnston, but unfortunately comes up with just the minor score. 15-8, 98 plays 7-6-48. It's a 50-point margin separating the two sides. He's an exciting player to watch.
Yeah, very exciting, Wes. I just think the difference is that, you know, you've got Liam Carter down one end and his brother, the two sort of tall keys. East Point really relying upon mid-sized Johnson to score their goals.
Mawson, good mark. Good hands again. So a two-pronged attack that Melton boasts is enormously dangerous. It's a bit Jeremy Cameron, Tom Hawkins-like in Catland, but the difference is that where Geelong may be a bit inconsistent getting the ball inside their 50, it seems like Melton has no such trouble. Ball thrown in. Brown fists away with the left. Watkins goes to ground. Ball up on the edge of the centre square. Umpire goes down as a Melton player collides with him. Mawson does the ruck work. The ball comes back to Mawson. Tries to get it out.
He's lost his shoe as well, the umpire, I think, Wes. So
he's having a bad couple of moments, isn't he?
No, he's back on track now.
Two and a half minutes have gone in our fourth quarter of the Ballarat Toyota match of the day. Free kick. East Point. They'll go into attack once again. They need to get it down there quickly. Johnston flies from behind. He was about third in line. Here's Manito sweeping across half-back. Can't gather, but he does well to just keep the ball in front of him. Goes off the ground. Kicks to the advantage of a teammate who ultimately runs out. And Kyle Borg was happy to see the ball over the line.
Menudo's got a bit of Mark Sinotti about him, I reckon. Whereas he's got the flowing locks. He runs like him. He plays like him.
The problem is that our boy Adrian probably won't even know who Mark Zanotti is. Get to YouTube, Adrian. Get to YouTube and have a look at Mark Zanotti and see if you can draw the comparison there.
He's been very good today, though, and just interesting here, Mawson doing a lot of the ruck for Bloods. I don't know if McIntyre's injured or, just putting some development into Mawson, but yeah, he's doing a good job.
Well, Mawson certainly did a fair bit of ruck work against North Ballarat a fortnight ago and was very presentable. Did well, the young fella. Umpire's just having a chat to him right now, talking a little bit about the knees in the contest. And I think our boy Bailey was just explaining that what he was doing was all quite legitimate. He looks a bit sore right now. He and Tom Brown, I don't think either of them won the last knockout, but they collided. They're going to go at it again right now. There's a lot of players around the football. Here's Mawson and Brown. Rodimer Onus throws himself to the bottom of the pack. A former St. Pat's boy. Spent a lot of time in his developmental stages in the Northern Territory. An exciting player. Probably no harder player in the competition than our East Point star in Mikaja Rodimer Onus. Now East Point with an opportunity to go forward. Taylor. Kick forward, up and under. A couple of East Point players go at it, can't haul it in. The ball over the boundary line, 15 metres around from the scoring zone. 5 minutes have travelled, no damage as far as Melton's concerned. They lead 15-8-98 by 50 points to 7-6-48 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard.
A lot of players around the contest. You spoke about that, Wes. I think Melton have done this deliberately just to stop any chance of any sort of comeback from East Point.
Mawson looks for the refuge of the line. Gee, the wind really caught that. How does the umpire adjudicate? He's happy that that was a genuine attempt, and we'll have another boundary throw in. 60 metres around from the East Point scoring zone.
And Mawson deliberately looked wide then. He had a chance to sort of go a bit more mid, but he was happy to sort of go out wide.
Mawson's doing the ruck work against Kotorenko right now, so as one of the East Point veterans who played just his first game for the season last week, and it's good to see him back. He wins the ruck knockout, taken by the Bloods. Kick forward, and it's Harrison Hanley, front position, takes the mark. By hand, offloads to Borg. Borg gets a bit of protection, the shepherd. Here's Jacob Hickey, inside 50 now. Good fist away, defensive work by Chris Carson. Does well, although the kick, he's pushed as he kicked, pushed in the side, and it sends the ball over the boundary line. It's going to be a free kick going the way of Melton's Lachlan Watkins.
What great transition from Melton, though. That's why they're the #1 side in the BFL at the moment, Wes.
Watkins with a shot on goal, right to the teeth of goal. Fisted away, and I think the umpire's adjudicating that it might be a behind. I think the field umpire is suggesting that it was actually hitting the behind post, and in fact, the latter is the case. We'll have a throw in right alongside the Melton scoring zone. That actually suits the Bloods. McIntyre back doing the ruck work. Kotorenko front position. Quick kick forward comes from East Point. Ground level ball. Melton take possession, dispossessed. Ball spills free. Kick forward comes from Johnston. Not much action down there in terms of East Point presence. Johnston had his work cut out because he's got a number of Melton defenders that have just clogged things up, and the Bloods do it with composure. Carter, kick 4 third quarter goals, finds a teammate on the outer wing. And now they progress by foot. And this is Lachlan Walker. He's on centre wing. His side in control, leading by 50 points. McIntyre the target. There was an East Point player standing in the way who copped the full brunt of McIntyre's assault on the football. All quite legitimate. Ball over the boundary line.
Yeah, so Mawson having a bit of a rest at the moment. And Big McIntyre back on.
He's a man-mountain McIntyre, isn't he? You'd know when you've collided with the big fella.
Absolutely.
Kodorenko and Kodorenko and McIntyre go at it. The lights come on at McPherson Park. Kick forward from Lachlan Phillips. That was smothered. East Point take possession. Buried in the tackle was Mitch Walsh. He'll be the recipient of the free kick. And have it defensive side of centre wing, outer side of the ground. 15-8 plays 7-6. Called to play on. Long kick forward. 1-on-1. Now the ball spills to the back. Manito goes to ground. Pack forms. Umpire has little option but to call for a ball up in front of the scoreboard that's rather illuminated right now in the leaden skies here at Tulin Vale. Kodorenko, front position, palms it down to the advantage of a teammate. And it's a real stalemate right at the moment with neither side scoring goals across the opening 9 minutes of this fourth quarter, and that's precisely how Melton like it.
Yeah, game's really slowed down. Where's the first 9 minutes of this quarter?
Kick comes out. Nice mark, Jacob Hickey, front position. Good sticky hands on full stretch. He's looking sideways. Umpire's asked him to move it on. Up and under. Big leap from the pointers. Good mark taken at half-back. Now they want to switch to the fat side of the ground. They move the ball forward by foot. Big leap comes, fist away. Opportunity for Jeffrey. Can he gather possession? He does. He spills it out to the advantage of a teammate. Then deep into the pocket. Dodd takes the mark. Hard up against the boundary line. He's a left foot up. It's a tough angle for a lefty.
Very tough from over there, Wes. Look, they just need a bit of respectability on the scoreboard. As I said, three-quarter time, they need to walk away from here knowing that their best is within, striking distance of Melton.
Hard up against the boundary line, kicking to the southern end here at McPherson Park. Dodd comes in, sets it up in front of goal. It's a beautiful kick off the boot. Oh, he's gone on the celebratory run. Goes to his teammates and says, boys, that's the way you do it from the tight angle.
Well, it was a great kick, wasn't it? And look, I suppose the genesis of that was the play in the back half. They actually took the game on. They made the ground a little bit bigger. Were able to go sort of central at times with that transition and, got a shot on goal and did really well. So, I think now they've just got to hit the scoreboard another 4 or 5 times.
That is a genuinely good shot on goal. Very intentional from Dodd. He knew what he was doing. Probably few around the ground gave him much opportunity, but he did well. 44 points separate the two sides on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. Johnston, there's a hold. It's going to go against East Point, and the recipient will be Jack Walker. Short option. Oh, they've got room to move through the corridor. Kick towards half forward on full stretch. That's Hanley. Lead up. Kites. First. Well, great hands.
He's been a very good player throughout the day, Wes. Very lively.
Been a consistent player for Melton. He's been a real influence on this game today. His side in the ascendancy by 44 points. He's just a little outside a 45-degree angle. Will kick from 45 metres out. He comes in now. He sets it out left. It curls back right. Doesn't go the journey. They've appealed for the touch on the line. It's a goal. Brayden Kite kicks his first for the game.
Isn't it amazing, Wes, that how good sides can just respond straight away? It takes them 30 seconds response, just deflates the opposition, and that's just a great goal from Kite, and he's been great today. He's just one of those sort of small, mid-sized forwards who's really lively, can go through the midfield, and you just see the class of Melton rising to the top at the moment.
16-8, 104, 50-point leaders over East Point, 8-6-54 on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. Brown wins it down, but only so far as Melton. Borg takes a bit to gather, then streams through a number of players, cuts a swathe through the East Point attempts at slowing his progress, and now by foot, here's Lachlan Hickey. Hickey swings around onto the left, sends it inside, and a good mark taken by East Point. They'll use the commentary side of the ground, fisted away by Ryan Carter. Ball spills to the back of the pack. There's Liam Carter. By hand to Lachlan Hickey, and then foot. And it's Lachlan Watkins. He's away, a right footer, kicks to the corridor, saw the lead. Here's another opportunity emerging for the Bloods. Can they gather possession? Ball goes to ground. Player goes to ground. Ball spills away. Fisted away. East Point, looping handball out to the favour of Brown. Brown by foot. Bit of a nudge in the back there on that occasion. Might go the way of Geordie Slater. No umpire not interested. Well-timed little bump there by Jordan Cotter, no doubt. Here's our boy Manito. Sweeping handball to Hickey. Sends it further wide. Button. Mawson. Chip kick over the top. Watkins. Further chip kick to a man that's running very hard indeed. That's Button. Off to Mawson. Mawson on the run. A shot on goal. And he misses everything. Still a bit of rain starting to come down now, I suspect, Brett.
Yeah, just a little bit of drizzle, Wes. But, geez, Melton are really looking strong the last, 30, 35 minutes of this game. Just moved the ball so well.
Loving intended the kick to be marked by Martin, but it wasn't. Here's an opportunity for Borg to hit them on the rebound. He kicks on goal and he kicks truly. Points to the sky. Kyle Borg. His second goal of the game, and the margin stretches to 56 points.
Well, it's funny, Wes, all of a sudden Melton have got 10, 12 really good players, and Borg's one of them. And, we spoke about their mid-sized players or their smaller-sized players. They're really damaging. They're quick, they're fast, they're skillful. They take the game on, they cause the overlap. And look, Borg's been really good out in that wing today, and he's got pace to burn, and he's been a real handful.
17-8, 110, plays 8-6, 54. 56 points separate the two sides. I'm glad that you're the man determining the best players for the respective sides today, because I think Melton's got so very many, you might have real difficulty pinning it down to just 4 or 5.
Might need to spin the wheel, I think, Wes.
Johnston has it at centre-half forward. Oh, he's quite deliberate. Matty Johnston uses the stand rule nice. It's a beautiful kick off the boot, and he drains it. Wonderful kick by Johnston.
That's a great kick, Wes. Back end of the game, 50 metres out. Terrific goal. And we spoke about they just need some respectability here, East Point.
Well, I know that our #1 camera operator in the region, Caleb Ludlow, will say, well, we saw exactly that same thing last week at the Eastern Oval when Matty Johnston did precisely that. He just booted one from about 55 metres out and it went over halfway up the goalposts. He's done it again today. The margin's 50 points. 17-8 plays 9-6. McIntyre. Bit of volleyball there by players of both sides as they attempt to gather possession. There's Liam Kenny, kicks his side forward. Mark Spilt. Ball comes to Hickey. Manito. Out wide now. And this is the third quarter specialist, Liam Carter. Kicked 4 in the third quarter if you've just joined us. Brock Kennedy. Short options on Lachlan Walker. It'll go back to Kennedy. Now he wants to kick longer. Fisted away from Jordan Kite. Ball at ground level. McIntyre. Ball comes to rest under the big fella. Eventually, they extricate the footy. Go straight back in. Real congestion right at the moment. And the umpire ultimately deems that it's time for a throw up. Some 17 minutes into this fourth quarter. 110 plays 60. Kodorenko and McIntyre. Merritt. Nesta. Walsh. Nesta was back in for seconds. And we'll have another ball up.
Just great pressure on East Point every time they get the footy from Melton. They just really come at you front on defence, make East Point make a decision with ball, and they've just worn them down throughout the day.
I sense that there'll be other sides that'll watch this game knowing that it's first versus second and just try to find the secrets that might bring about Melton's downfall. But right at the moment, they're putting in a pretty flawless display. That was Carter. Here's Benito. Quick hands. Little kick forward. Comes from East Point. It's pretty unforgiving in there right at the moment as players from both sides attack the football with great ferocity in the pack forms, and we'll have another ball up.
I think you're right, Wes. Every side's got their kryptonite. You've just got to find what it is. I can't see too many weaknesses in the Melton lineup at the moment. I think East Point probably just need a key forward maybe. But, yeah, Melton look very strong all over the field.
Kodorenko. Right, I think when you talk about East Point needing a key forward, Johnston just needs a bit of support, doesn't he, really?
Absolutely.
A little bit one-dimensional going forward.
Yeah, look, we know Johnston's going to kick his 4, 5, 6 most weeks, but, geez, someone else can kick 3 or 4 and take a lot of pressure off him.
Well, of course, his last month of footy to this point in time, 8, 6, 5 and 4. It's been a spectacular little run by Jordan Johnson, such a great player. Unfortunately, today, his side's not going to get the rewards because they're not going to get the 4 premiership points. Rhoda Moronis cops a push in the back. The umpire, not sure that he was cited there on that occasion. It looked like a fairly obvious one, but ultimately we'll leave it to the man in fluoro green to make the call, and I'll stick to my remit. Kodorenko, front position, palms it down, and his teammates immediately wrapped up in the tackle. We tick towards the 20-minute mark of our fourth quarter in our Ballarat Toyota match of the day. 110 plays 60. Kodorenko, bit of body on body against McIntyre. And we'll have another ball up.
It's really just been that 15, 20-minute burst where it's really been a difference today. I don't think East Point have been disgraced by this at all, but just against Melton, you've got to play the full 100 minutes.
Rhoda Moronis. Kick forward from Canny. Melton, look at the numbers back there. That was a 3-on-1 situation. Carter doesn't mind playing either end of the ground. Carter had that purple patch in the third term with 4 goals, and here he is. There he was on the last line. Long kick to the scoreboard side of the ground. Quick hands. Here's Benito. Geez, clocking up the possessions today. Mawson, front position. Juggling mark. Good mark taken by East Point. Offloads by hand. Straight back. Oh, bounces off the chest there of the East Point player. Rhoda Moronis taken in the tackle. Quick kick forward through the hands of Benito. Dangerous now. Johnston sets his sights on the footy, the ball over the boundary line, some 15 metres around from the East Point scoring zone. They've kicked 2 goals this term, and we saw 9 goals kicked to that same end by Melton in the third term, which really did separate the two sides.
As you said a moment ago, Wes, Melton have got defenders back, but they're just covering off Johnson. They know he's the avenue to goal. So it's really smart coaching from Melton.
Merritt at the bottom of the pack. Pack forms over the football. Ryan Carter was in there. And have a look as we cast the line across the ground, and there is no one in Melton's front half.
No, and they're really happy with this. Just congested. Make it hard for East Point to score it all.
Their percentage is 214 going into this game, and as it stands at the moment, they're probably going to improve on their percentage with a win of this nature today if it stands as it does at the moment with 50 points separating the two sides. Not that I'm a mathematician, Brett, but it's certainly not going to do it any harm, is it?
I'll back you in, Wes. Got a #1 cameraman and a #1 mathematician here next to me. I'm not sure how long Caleb's been the reigning #1 cameraman, but I would say it's been a long stint.
He's not disagreeing with us. He's doing a great job, as he always does, managing a number of things. Kodorenko palms it down with the left. Rhoda Moronis tries to burst through. Spills it over the top to Merritt. Merritt just straightens himself up. Kicks towards Johnston! The big leap. Couldn't pull it in. That was exciting. Oh, dear. That would have been a spectacular highlight.
It would have been one of the greatest marks you've seen for a long, long time, but the reason why he had to sort of manufacture that was, once again, is a 1v3. That's the only way he's going to get his ball, by jumping over the top of them.
It's almost Sard-like.
Well, yes. Obviously the best mark I've ever seen, 2005 Grand Final.
Oh,
Valley League, Wes.
I would concur with you there. Jordan Cotter with the work to bring it in. McIntyre was about fourth in line there on that occasion and almost took the mark. And the pack forms and the umpire says we'll have a ball up.
I don't want to talk about the Golden Valley League and the Ballarat League game, Wes, but YouTube Sard mark 2005 Grand Final.
Correct. I absolutely concur. Here we go. East Point into attack again. Ball spills over the back. Johnson has an opportunity for 5 now. He kicks it off the ground and he kicks number 5. JJ Jordan Johnston. That's a nice little reward for him. And what a great day. Despite the magnitude of the loss, which currently is some 45 points as it stands at the moment. Now obviously they've got some time to eat into this, but Jordan Johnston, 5-goal return, 8, 6, 5 and 5. He's having a spectacular season.
Yeah, it's a great effort for reward, and you know, we've spoken about the quality of him as a player. He was a quality player NAB League level, and certainly Ballarat League. I just think if he just had a little bit more support, he's kicked half their goals. If someone else could bob up, it'd certainly take the pressure off the side.
Well, he's the leading goal kicker of the day. And East Point's going to go forward once again. Foot races on. Players converge. Nice gather on this occasion by the Roos. Handball retreating. Spills it out to Nesta. Nesta goes one way, then the other. Has his kick partially smothered. No clear take on that occasion. Oh, weaving his way through a bit of traffic was Geordie Slater. And once again, Melton get numbers back and just hold that footy up. 110 plays 67.
Liam Carter's been terrific today for Melton, I think, Wes. I think he's done well both ends of the ground.
Yes, as I said, I'll be very interested in the Hendo votes for today's game. Mawson was second in line, gave a little nudge to his opponent, and as a consequence, the free kick's going the way of Dallas Martin. So Martin hands it off. Johnston with a long shot. Through hands, dribbles over the line from behind. And East Point move along to 10-8, 68. And now the margin is 42 points separating the two sides. 17-8, 110 is Melton on the Ballarat Toyota scoreboard. Hope you're enjoying our Ballarat Toyota match of the day for the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League. Coming up after the game, the Carlton Draft post-game summary, where Brett Henderson's being set the task of determining the best players for the respective sides. Probably the East Point players are a little easier to determine than the Melton players. There's just been so many of them today. McIntyre at right half back. Genuine nudge there on that occasion. No free kick paid against Cam Lovey. Ball spills out via the hand of Drew Murphy and ultimately over the line to be thrown in on centre wing. 26 minutes have gone in this fourth quarter. 17-8, 110 plays, 10-8, 68. Front positions with Brown. Gets it down to Johnston. Does well to get the handball out despite being tackled. And the ball bounces. In fact, it bounces over the line for the first time. So that's a free kick the way of Melton at right half back. Very, very gloomy here at Tilden Vale. I suppose it's a real sign of things to come as we are early doors June, and there's plenty of winter to come. Melton thought to switch there on that occasion, and then wisely chose not to. Push in the back, and it's a free kick the way of Matt Johnston. This is beyond his range, although he runs around and kicks it towards the top of the square. Manito did really well there to block the path of Jordan Johnston. Went undetected by the umpire. I'm not even sure that it was illegitimate anyway. It was just good, clever body-on-body contact. And the ball over the boundary line to the left of the scoring zone, 15 metres around. 17-8, 110 plays 10-8, 68. 7 goals separate the two sides. Manito. And another ball up 30 metres out from the East Point goal.
I think East Point will be saying, okay, apart from 20 minutes, we've been okay.
Yep.
Right? We just need to bring that in if we're going to really compete at the back end of the year.
Well, when you consider, as we see a kick from Jordan Cotter, sky high, and it's going to go over the line. When you consider, as the siren sounds, that it was a 6-goal burst in the latter stages of that third quarter by Melton that actually stretched the lead out to 51 points at three-quarter time, and they've ultimately won by 7 goals, albeit that there's a kick to come. Percentage may well play some sort of role in the way in which the season is decided. It's a nice long kick off the boot, and in fact it's going to be recorded as a point, so it's a 41-point win for the Melton Bloods. 17-8, 110 to 10-9, 69. They have kicked 2 goals in the fourth and final quarter. By contrast, we see that East Point have kicked 3 goals, where the margin was 51 points at three-quarter time. East Point have cut it back to 41 points, but nonetheless a decisive victory for the Melton Bloods. They retain their undefeated status at the top of the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League ladder. They have been absolutely superb this season, and they showed today against the second best side in the competition why they currently, as it stands, deserve to be considered flag favourites.
Yeah, I think they're outstanding option as a flag favourite at the moment. I think from what I've seen, their transition of football from back half to front half is very good. They've got key forwards. They've got those mid-sized players that are, you know, able to push into the midfield, be dangerous up forward. And look, they've just got a really good balance, a good mix. You know, McIntyre and the ruck, you know, the Carter boys. But East Point, on the other hand, look, apart from that 20 minutes, okay, take some positives out of it. I think they need that other key forward or that other marking forward as an option to help Johnson out. But they've got some work to do. It's interesting in a game like this, Wes, when there's an advantage to one end. Usually one team uses that advantage twice, the other team uses it once. And that's what's happened today.
Yep. So just looking through the goal kickers as I give Brett a bit of thinking time with regard to the better players for the respective sides, I can tell you that for the Victor Melton, it was Liam Carter booted 4. They all came in the third quarter. Ryan Carter kicked 4 goals. Kyle Borg booted 2. Lachlan Hickey kicked 2. And there were singles to Jacob Hickey, Harrison Hanley, Braden Kite, Lachlan Walker, and Luke Heaney. For East Point, it was our man JJ, Jordan Johnston, who's gone 8-6-5-5, kicked the 5 today. And then there were individual goal kickers, Jackson Merritt, Geordie Slater, Joe Dodd, Matt Johnston, and Jake Toolman. So, your thoughts on the better players? Let's start with East Point firstly, because, you know, clearly that's probably a tougher task when you talk about Melton's better players. But for East Point, the vanquished today, who were your better players, Brett Henderson?
Look, I just think when you kick, you know, half the goals of the side, you deserve to be the better players, and just the way he went around it, he's exciting. Provided contest was Jordan Johnson. I thought he was outstanding, kicking 5 goals. I thought Matt Johnson was really good as well, worked really hard in the midfield. Aiden Nestor did some good work down the back half, and, you know, Liam Canning worked hard as well. You know, Tom Brown had his moments against McIntyre. There's lots of positives within the team. They probably just need, as I said before, a couple other guys to stand up and perhaps hit the scoreboard with Geordie Johnson.
And for Melton, who today, of course, were 41-point winners.
Yeah, look, I thought you know, McIntyre and the ruck really started to change things as far as the game went in the third quarter. I thought he was really good. Liam Carter was magnificent. Bobbed up, kicked 4 when the game was in the balance. And then, you know, when they were kicking against the breeze, he worked hard defensively as well. I thought he was really good today. And Kite was a great player. I thought Tex Walker was terrific today. I thought he, you know, led from the front. Jack Walker, number 11, he was really instrumental and just gathered, you know, a lot of possessions. But my player of the day, Wes, is...
Who takes the 3 Hendo votes, the unofficial Hendo votes?
Is Adrian Funky Cold Manito, who was, I thought, absolutely brilliant in the back half. Repelled attack after attack. I think he would have had, you know, over 25 disposals. It's not just about disposal. I just thought he was really steady and defended really well and did a lot of work off the ball as well, you know, to help his other defenders. So I'm going to give him 3 votes.
Very good. This, of course, is the Carlton Draft post-game summary as part of our Ballarat Toyota match of the day. I can tell you that Melton burst away to a 30-point advantage at quarter time. They kicked four first-quarter goals to East Point scoreless. By half-time, East Point had worked their way back into the contest with Geordie Johnston booting 3 goals in that second quarter, and the difference was just 7 points at half-time. At three-quarter time, the margin had exploded out to 51 points, primarily on the back of essentially a 10-minute spell where Melton kicked 6 unanswered goals, and then pretty much it was status quo throughout the course of that fourth quarter, where I dare say that Melton were just happy to hold East Point to 3 goals, and ultimately it was a 41-point margin in the end. Melton 17-8, 110 to East Point 10-9, 69. Brett Henderson, thank you so much for joining me throughout today's commentary.
Thanks, Wes. Enjoyed every minute of it.
And to Caleb Ludlow, who's done an outstanding job once again, managing to keep all of the balls in the air throughout the course of today with regard to his work on the graphic scoreboard, providing the camera work and all the live stream machinations that unfold in the Ballarat Football League match of the day. To you, our viewers, we hope you've enjoyed the coverage. Stick with us in the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League throughout the course of season 2022. We hope to bring you the action right through to the completion of the season in September. I'm Wes Cusworth on behalf of the team saying goodbye, farewell, and we'll catch you next week.